Welcome back to episode 239 of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast. My name is Josh. I'm here with Phil and the one, the only, the greatest podcast producer, Baba Louie. How's it going, boys?
Good. How are you, Josh?
Doing awesome. Miss you guys already. Miss the Expo. Miss the boys. Just the vibe. Being in Toronto. Happy to be home, though, too. We were gone for a whole week. I will say this. The exhaustion coming home is a real thing. It's taking me days to recover from this. And I don't know, is that just me or what about you guys?
No, I took 3 or 4 naps yesterday.
That's it? No, normally you only take one. So,
one or none.
I love how you're honest about that. Yeah. I'm glad you've recovered, Josh. I have not.
Really?
Recovered. Nice. 20-30%. I haven't done laundry. Have you guys done laundry yet?
No. I thought you said something in Toronto, like something like the Expo blues that you get when coming home. I think that might be a real thing.
It is. I'm a little melancholy. I'm dragging my feet a little bit. I have not looked at one of my cards. Well, 3. I've only looked at 3 of my cards I got at the Expo because I want to make videos on them. And if I keep looking at them all week, I'm not going to be excited again. So that's a bit of a shame. Yeah, I'm a little sad.
Louis spent all day yesterday too tired to look at his cards.
He wanted to, just couldn't reach out of bed. I'll do it tomorrow.
That's pretty sad when you're too tired to do that. But
No,
we're here.
I had to get up and get everything out of the van, run to Josh's house, get all his crap out of the van. Then we had to go return the speakers. Then we had to go return the van. And I'm just like, oh, kill me now. I just want to go to sleep. And
but we're here. We're ready. I'm actually feeling good today. So ready to go. Happy to be back on the show. Kind of, this will be a little bit of an Expo show / normal show, but we'll be back to kind of our regular grind as of Monday. Do got to make probably from, I guess, the last time a
rip party.
Oh, why not?
Why not? Yeah, we're still kind of recovering from Rip Party, working on shipping. Phil's handling all the winners from Canada. Myself and Baba Louie handling all the winners from the US. Phil's already started shipping, you said, right, Phil? And then we're going to be shipping tomorrow, Thursday.
Look at that. I'm holding the stack right there. That's not even
nice.
Half. Yeah.
Nice. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. So, yeah, we'll be getting everything shipped very, very soon. Thank you for being patient. We had to finish the Expo, pack up, get home, be exhausted for a few days, and now we'll get that done ASAP. So that's all I had on Rip Party. You guys have anything? Final things to wrap up?
It's like a fever dream that night. Pretty crazy. I keep thinking of, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, I should have said that. And I tried rewatching the live. I'm not a chance. I made it 15 seconds. That's it. No.
You can watch it?
My eyebrow started twitching. Don't know what that means, but if there's a doctor out there who could explain that. So I didn't question it, turned it off, and on to the next one.
I'm terrified to watch it too. I haven't been to watch it. Yeah, I'm terrified to watch it.
Oh, I had to watch it. I watched as much as I could throughout the day. Just, I'm looking for improvements. So
yeah. Good. Right on.
Were you happy with what you saw?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, it's good so far.
Yep. Hey, Louis, the biggest compliment of all night, which kind of not upsets me, but makes me think it's peculiar. The first thing people said was, "Oh my God, the production was so good," and I'm like, "Well, what about the boxes we gave away for free?" No, the production. It's all about the production. So you did something good there, Louis. Big time, yeah.
Yeah, well, then it worked out because that last 2 months of working with Josh trying to make it something that didn't look like trash paid off then.
A big shout out to Keith there for being good support as well,
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I didn't realize our production was such a, maybe, I want to say big deal. I'm so tired, but maybe as sophisticated as it was, because we got a lot of that comment, and, we were just making stuff up as we go along, right, Louis? And so I guess we maybe tried to bite off more than we can chew, but we pulled it off. So, hey, we did it.
It worked. Woohoo.
Yeah, it worked. Okay, a lot to get to. Last thing, though, before we get started, is a reminder that our show, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast, is a Patreon podcast. That means we rely on the support of listeners and watchers and supporters like yourself to help us cover show expenses, produce more and hopefully better hockey card content, and then fund initiatives like Rip Party to grow the hobby It's very easy to support us. You can do it for as little as $5 a month. Be one of our first 199 supporters via Patreon. You forever get that title. You also get exclusive access to our Discord server. We had a lot of fun kind of updating our travel and, give a little more of our Expo experience in Discord. So if you're into that kind of stuff and just want to make new friends and connections in the hobby, it's a great place to do that. It's very easy to support us. You go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, click on the Become a Patron link at the top of the page. Go to the Patreon website directly, patreon.com, search for Hockey Cards Gong Show. There's a link in the show description of both podcast apps and YouTube. And then finally, in our Instagram and TikTok profiles, we have links to Patreon as well. Holy moly. Since the last time we updated, which would have been a week ago, we have 5 new patrons, supporters of our show. Matt Sottle joined our on a 199. So thank you, Matt, very, very much for doing that. Galaxy Bread, which is an interesting name.
It's a great name.
To learn. Yeah, I kind of want to learn the backstory there. On a 199, Zog 1024. On a 199 as well.
Zod. Sorry,
Neil before. Was it Zog? Was that his name?
No, it's Zod. Z-O-D. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a what?
Superman 3.
Ghostbusters.
No,
Superman 3.
Superman 3. Kneel before Zod, and then he crushes his hand. Yeah.
Well, what was it in
Slimer?
Ghostbusters 1, where
where Dan Aykroyd thought of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and they're like, "No, you didn't." He's
but it was the Rick Moranis.
Are you the gatekeeper?
Zool?
Yeah, Zool. Yeah,
Zool.
There is no God, only Zool.
Yeah, there is no God, only Zool. All right.
Sigourney Weaver looked pretty good in that movie, I do have to say.
You were a fan?
In that movie, yeah. Alien series, I'll pass. Yeah.
So no stepmom material for
no
Sigourney
stepmom
Weaver?
material. She's huge, man. She's like 6'1". I mean, I like tall women, but that's
Okay.
great.
Josh has never seen Alien.
What?
No.
You've never seen the movie Alien?
It's too scary.
I don't like scary movies.
It's not a scary movie. It's a masterpiece. It's Ridley Scott.
Yeah, not my thing.
Oh, Josh.
Gross. Yeah, never.
Let's carry on.
Okay, J Ham out of 199. Thank you, Jay. And then Matt Martell out of 199 as well. And if I happen to miss somebody, please let me know. It's been a blur. We've had a lot of messages and notifications. Let me know so you get your shout out. And then if any of you who have also joined the Patreon, and maybe sometimes the Discord link is finicky and doesn't like to work, make sure you message me and I'll help you get that sorted out. All right. Baba Louie, what's the game?
Sir. Game plan is we're going to start off with an Expo week recap. Then we're going to jump in with Sylvan and have a little video of Confessions of a Card Dealer, Chapter 7. After that, we're off to Hobby News. And then we're going to throw some conversations at you guys. One with Johnny Amendola, Troy Licastro. We got the late game crew, and then Grant from GP Sports. Followed by that, we will get into our Fanatics Collect Weekly Preview. And then it is our Personal Pickups Expo edition.
Fun show. Yeah. Lots of conversations from the Slab Sharks Studio. Happy to share the rest of them. I think we did, 9 or something like that in total. It's pretty crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do our Expo recap while it's fresh on the minds here. We talked a lot about our epic rip party last Friday night, so we're going to kind of, on our last show, while we were at the Expo, so we're not going to do that today. Maybe a reference here or there, but we wanted to cover the entire experience and, of course, our experience at the show, which was different for all of us this year because we had the amazing opportunity via Gong Show Sugar Daddy Slab Sharks to have a home base and record our content for our show at the Slab Sharks Studio. What I hope we can do, boys, is just a little roundtable here, kind of chat about what we'll always remember from our week in hockey card heaven, and we'll try to go a little bit in chronological order, and I'll kick us off. So we're going to start with our trip to Toronto, which was some kind of funny moments for both of us. I'll go through Baba Louie and myself, and then you guys can chime in. Well, we decided that I wanted to bring my bubble hockey to the Chateau Gong Show, and in order to do that, we needed more room. So the only responsible thing to do, of course, was to rent a van.
Yep.
And so Louie and I, on last Monday, we piled everything into the van we rented, and it was a great van because it was a Chrysler where every seat kind of folds into the floor, giving you maximum space. And boy, Louie, did we need it.
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
I don't know if we could have fit a bag of Doritos in that car.
No.
It was packed to the gills.
But you
But
did. You fit 8 bags of Doritos. I saw them.
Yeah.
So you did.
No, those are Neil's chips that he brought. We
Okay.
didn't get bags of Doritos. It is kind of funny though. Do you guys notice that whatever size vehicle you have, like you tend to always just barely have enough room?
Mhm.
Correct.
It's like money. I got
Yeah.
a raise. Oh, I'm rich. And then 6 months later, like, I never have enough money.
I'm out of money again. Yeah. So it's packed to the gills. Smooth sailing. Nice ride. We didn't really have any. We had brakes this time, so that was nice. Didn't have any like freeway
Ba-dum-bum.
closures. But got to kind of breezed our way to the border, and
To
at
the border.
Toronto, went over the Ambassador Bridge in Detroit into beautiful Windsor, Canada. And as we're
Whoa.
pulling up, I'm talking to Louis Phil, and I'm like, "There's 0% chance we don't get this van doesn't get searched."
Yeah.
So we pull up, and there's a nice what is it like? See, you got your organization.
CBSA officer.
Why does everything have 4 acronyms? It's like you need to stop at 3.
People like feeling important.
Okay.
Add a letter. It's like, yeah.
Well, she's very nice. And, you hand the passports, and she's like, "Who are you?" And we're like, "Well, we're what are you doing? Why are you coming to our country?" We're like, "Well, we're going to the Hockey Cards show in Toronto, and we're a podcast, and we're gonna record there." And then she's like, "Can you roll down your window?" And we do. And of course, the van is 100% packed to the gills. And she's like, "Well, what is all that stuff for?" And we're like, "Well, we just need it to produce the podcast." And then she asked, "Well, is the van yours, or the car yours, or rented?" And we said rented. And then she immediately like closes her window. And me and Louis are like, "Yeah, 100%, we're getting searched."
I don't
So-
get why you think rented. Why would a rented vehicle be more of a flag? I don't get that.
It shouldn't be, but who
But-
knows? I mean, the thing was packed to the gills. You got 2 Gomers in the front seat. She don't understand what's going on. I think she just needed help. Honestly,
Okay.
she didn't understand what we were doing. We were recording a pot because when we finally got booted, she came back and she handed us this ticket. She's like, "I don't understand. You guys need to take this and go over there underneath there and meet up with some other people under
Okay. Should have showed her the Spotify. Download this. This is who we are.
Well, it probably does sound pretty ridiculous, like our whole thing that we do, to somebody who probably doesn't care, anything about hockey cards. Yeah. So
True.
she says, "Go park over there." We go into this lot. It's obviously where vans are being searched. There's about 700 with CSBDT RG or whatever you call them officers that are standing there and just ready to pounce on vehicles. And we had like 4, or was it 5 that came over to our vehicle, Louis?
4 or 5. The one guy told us to get out and keep our hands out of our pockets and stand towards the front of the van. And he just was talking to us the whole time. And I don't know who was going through the back, but I think they opened the back of that up and we're like, yeah, we are not taking all this out.
That's the best part of this. That's exactly what happened. There's like 3 people in back. We open all the 2 sliding doors. We open the back, and like Louis said, there's a guy who's like distracting us. He's a nice guy. We're just BSing, and it was probably 5 minutes, and they were just like staring and back and talking. And I 100% think that that's what happened. That they decided there's no way we're unpacking this van and spending the next 12 hours going through, because we had like cases of cord after cord after cord. And I don't know, maybe part of it was our attitude, where Louis and I were both, because we had nothing to hide. We were like, well, just go for it. I don't care. We were in Windsor for the night, so we didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
And maybe
that's what we told the guy that we were shooting the breeze with up front. I was like, they can go through anything they want in there, at their leisure. And he looked at me and he looked at the van and he goes, "Oh, I really hope they don't."
I've heard
stories.
I've heard stories where they take everything out, but you have to put everything back in. That's why
usually the way it is.
Yeah. So I thought, why would they care to pull everything? I mean, Louis, you brought my shillelagh. That was stuck in there, so that was pretty cool. But that's allowed to be brought over. Conversation.
Yeah, no pack muling anything nefarious for you, Phil, in the future. That's for sure.
Piece of wood. It was a lumber.
we breezed through and had to celebrate getting into Canada the only way Americans can. We
No.
pretty much
You got to back up yet. There's still more to this crapshoot.
okay.
Well, once they looked through the van, they gave us our sticker and said, now you need to go into that building and meet somebody. So we go into this building and this lady's waving us down, gentlemen over here. And she grabs our passports. I figured the lady, when we were coming in, had already checked it, knew what we were, but wanted to know what the van was. Oh no. She grabs our passports and sits down for 10 minutes, looking up who knows what and talking to 15 different employees in there, ha 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 ha, and then gets back to work doing her thing. And finally comes back and said, what, the whole story again. What are you guys doing? Why are you here? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, everything checks out. Stamps the thing, and we finally get to leave.
You're just mad that she knows all your secrets.
Maybe.
Was Louis
I
left
haven't-
alone? At any point was
No.
Louis alone with somebody and Josh and you weren't there? Because fill in the blanks, maybe why he's disgruntled.
They had rooms, like they were asking people to go into interview rooms. We never had to go that far. So, okay, you're right, Louis. Then we were on our way, and then we had to stop and
Oh,
make
yeah.
our first stop for,
Sure did.
You got
we
your
were
maple
talking
syrup.
about it for
though.
2 hours.
You got your CBSA syrup?
What? They
Are
have
you
syrup?
serious? Yeah, no. If they pull you over, one of the perks is, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the agency, but that's definitely one of the. You didn't get your syrup?
No.
Oh, that's crazy. Well, maybe next time now you know.
Let's
Yeah,
drive
it's like
back there and get
It's
our
like an
syrup.
I'm sorry for the inconvenience. It's not
Oh.
big. It's like maybe 500 mils or something, but it's real maple syrup.
Kind of
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Kind of nice. Okay, so for the third time, we went to Timmy's. We had to get some Timmy's, right, Bob and Louie?
Yes.
There we are.
There.
The world's most expensive coffee because it was like, what, $52? Something like that.
Starbucks
Too
is
small.
more. Get out of here.
Cappuccino. Yeah, Starbucks is more. So
Yeah.
that was a fun way to celebrate and get into Windsor. Then we had a real low key night in Windsor before we headed to Toronto. Ironically, though, we did stay at the same hotel
Mhm.
where the famous scene of the lost episode where the internet was such a potato it never worked, and it was really
Ooh,
fast. And so that was kind of a kick in the what
pills.
almost. Then it's like, oh yeah, the internet works today.
Mhm.
We're not recording where we really needed it in April. But yeah, that was sort of our trials and travails. Oh, the only thing is, it's always fun to get to drive by Guelph.
Yeah.
That's because we get to say it about 600 times. And believe me, Baba Louie and I were in the car saying Guelph over and over again. That
You're
was
getting closer. You have been saying Guelph for a long time. Now you're saying Guelph. So you're gonna.
Guelph, Guelph.
you're- yes, the good listener can't see the picture here. There's a picture of Tim Hortons packs of cards with 2
Yep.
Tim Hortons cups by a fireplace. So
fun. Yeah. Oh,
you guys must have had a good bonding evening. I
it
see.
was romantic.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. We looked into each other's eyes and then into packs of Timmy's. It was great.
Whispered your whale of cards you want.
So, Phil, what was your trip to Toronto like?
It was pretty standard. I mean, I'm staying in the same province, so it was good. Colin Hasselhoff, I apologize. Hasselhoff and I left pretty darn early because we had to meet you guys at Mintink, but we have a great time. We always leave early, around 6 a.m. We hit up Denny's. Once we get to Toronto, we don't really make many stops, and we had to meet you at Mintink at noon. So that was pretty good. Are we on the wrong
Yeah.
day? I'm on a different day than you, I think. Are
No,
you
no,
on
no.
Wednesday?
No.
Yeah, it was on Wednesday. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I guess our stories are lining up. I don't have anything eventful. From Ottawa to Toronto is pretty boring.
Well, I did see you said in your notes you normally rent a sports car. I never knew that.
Oh, yes, I apologize. I'm so sorry. Yes, normally we rent a sports car. I got a not a Maxima, Nissan Altima, but it was like supercharged last year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I should not be in that car. It's a lot of fun because I've been driving trucks for like 20 years. So it's like a big
Yeah.
go-kart. Yeah, but we normally get that, and I decided not to this year because I picked up a pretty nice non-Tundra. I know I want my Toyota Tundra, but I'll settle for my GMC Sierra. I picked it up at very low kilometers. Very low kilometers. So I wanted to add some on, and we just drove it to Toronto. It was nice and easy. Saved some money. Spent it on cards. Yeah.
Okay. Well, and then we all met at Mintink. Hadn't seen each other. It's a big reunion. There's
Yeah.
hugs. There's tears. Louis sobbed in the parking lot. and we got to
Mhm.
tour. Now, for me and Louis, it's the first time. For you, it's the second time. But we got to tour Mintink's new shop in Vaughan,
Yeah.
Ontario. Super nice. I think kind of the card shop of the future sort of vibe that I feel there. It's sort of like what everyone talks about, how card shops are evolving from kind of smelly, um,
Basement
hoard,
D.
look like basement D, like hoarder type places to the
Mhm.
shop is beautiful, and so much thought went into the design. It is incredibly detailed. You can tell no expense was spared, and I think very smartly it's designed not just as a place to buy and sell boxes or cards, but really to host fun events. Like they
Right.
talked about how a lot of their cases are on wheels and they can move things around and add a lot of tables and get a lot of people in there for their trade nights and various events that they have. And so, and then just going into the back office and seeing their whole operation and everything that they do there
That was
was
crazy.
Yeah.
incredibly impressive. And yeah, kudos to those guys. Boy, Louis, I wish we had a card shop like that here.
Oh, so do I. Man.
That's wild, man. The I can't stress enough when you walk in, the high ceilings, everything is clean. Like this, they
Yes.
must have a full-time duster there, right? Like someone's always Swiffering or something or whatnot. You walk into the back, there's a whole kitchenette area, lunchroom, staff room. You walk through that, there's the warehouse. Like they're with offices and cubicles, and that's why Hasselhoff and I had to get a really big Denny's before we met you at Mintink. I know Johnny was buying us lunch, but I needed fuel to match his energy. Because he doesn't stop. And now that we got a nice behind the scenes tour at that place, wow, that is the shop of the future. You're right,
Yeah.
Josh.
There's a lot going on in that place.
I think you're right. And we talked about this while we were there. That's the high ceilings that make it seem
Love it.
just
Right.
awesome. I think that's my favorite feature too. So if you're in the Toronto area, you got to go to Mintink and just check it out. I consider it a must see. Okay, so after Mintink, we ran to the expo for a little bit, started to set up our space, but then we checked into our house, the Chateau Gongshow. Right away, we got some, I guess, news about the house. It's up for sale, which that kind of
Mhm.
stinks. So if anyone out there is of the wealthy persuasion and wants to purchase it for, I think it was 1.7 million Canadian, that's
Yeah.
it, and rent it to us 2 weeks out of the year, that would be fantastic because it is
2
a perfect
weeks.
fit.
We're keeping it for 2 weeks now. I have a job, guys. I can't come for 2 weeks.
Well, it's spring and fall.
Oh, right. Sorry. And
there you go.
semi-annual crap.
Blazing fast internet, which was huge they had like 1 gig upload. And that's part of the reason why we had planned Rip Party for the house. We had lots of people come to visit during the week, hang out, which was amazing. So there's a few funny stories in the house. The first one is, I think it was like 10 a.m. Friday morning. We had spent Wednesday night, part of Thursday, and going into Friday morning, really setting up the place for Rip Party. And that includes cables everywhere. We had a little production studio set up. We were using gaffer's tape and taping the cables to the floor. I mean, it looked like a TV production was going to happen there. We had cameras mounted on the wall, all that sort of thing. And I think it was around 10 a.m. Friday. I get a phone call and from a Toronto area code, and answer the phone, and it's the owner of the house. And the first thing I'm like, well, why are they calling?
The audacity.
Do they somehow are there cameras in there? Do they know that we're like creating a whole TV production here? And again, the house is like all set up for Rip Party. And now remember, the house is for sale. So the owner says, well, we're selling the house and we'd love to we have a potential buyer lined up. Can we do a showing this morning? And I'm normally like an accommodating person, right? I want to accommodate this, but I'm like, oh, this is not be good for them to come in
Not a
this
good
house
time.
and see this. There's a lot of people. We have bubble hockey in the living room.
We've moved furniture.
We've moved furniture all around. Oh man, and then it kind of hit me too. It's a little weird when you've rented a house,
Right. That's what
right? That whole situation too. And so I'm like, well, I'm really not comfortable doing that. And then he right away he was like, well, okay, we can do it. We'll do the showing after you guys leave. So thank God that
Yeah.
that they didn't like insist. Which I don't know. I don't know if we would have let them anyways, because like I said, it was weird. But that my face went white for about 30 seconds there, trying to like process all that
Ridiculous.
could happen. And then the other funny story has to do with this guy named Phil from Ottawa, the BU.
Yeah, what? What are you gonna say
So
right
Monday
now?
morning, you walk downstairs. Louis and I were already up packing up, and you
Yeah.
come down with the declaration that it was something to the effect of, "Well, boys, I think we might lose some of our damage deposit."
Oh yeah, the cake.
Yeah, the cake. Now this is from the guy who in spring completely shattered the bed frame.
Yeah.
In his bedroom, like 4 minutes after us getting into the house by, quote unquote, sitting on the bed.
Barely sitting on the bed. Barely
Yeah, it
sitting
was
on
like
the bed.
a murder happened in there.
Yeah,
Right.
all 180 pounds broke the bed. Got it.
So of course, Louie and I were looking. We're like, "Well, what happened, Phil?" And you said, "Well, there's a cake incident." And a little backstory here: this whole time we're at the chateau, we all noticed you were going nuts on cake, and I don't know. So what's again is we have DoorDash here in the U.S. What do you call it?
We have Uber Eats and Skip the Dishes.
Skip the Dishes. Okay, you were
Yeah.
going ham like every day on Skip the Dishes,
Yeah.
and like after like I don't know 10, 11, midnight or whatever.
No,
You're having
no,
these
no.
Yes.
It was like 10:30, 10:30,
Okay,
11. That's not
10:30,
midnight
11.
1. It's crazy talk.
You're having these giant pieces of cake every day ordered. Now, how much does it cost to have a giant piece of cake delivered to the house?
Well, I ordered 3 on Friday, and that was a good 80
Oh my
bucks.
God.
But I have no regrets. No regrets. I'm on vacation. I eat so healthily all year round. There's 2 times a year I want to go a little ham on my chocolate. And I'm not a big drinker. I prefer to expand in color. So when I expand in color, I want my chocolate cake.
I think I missed that. How much does a piece of cake cost?
It should normally be like $5 or $10, but when you order it because you're lazy and you can't drive, they add about a 5x premium per cake. So it was like $78 for 3 pieces of cake. Yeah. And then Sylvain brought me one from the keg. And then I bought more on Saturday. Yeah, Cole brought me the McCain deep dish pan. Canadian Canadian good listeners will know that. And that's what I rolled over on in the bed. I fell asleep before I could, but I took the cover off and I just rolled over on the icing. Yeah. That's brutal. And Cole saw it. Hasselhoff saw it. And he was like, I didn't know what to do, so I just went to bed. Like, you could have moved the cake.
Yeah, there's so many enablers here. So you legitimately fell asleep on cake. Now, are you? Do you normally eat in bed? Is that like your thing?
Yeah, I love it.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
I love
never
eating chocolate in bed. Yeah, I don't have any. I've been single for like 4 years. Well, not single, but no one stays at my house for 4 years. So yeah, I can hide. I'm doing what everything all you guys want. You want to eat chicken wings in your underwear and walk around? I can do that. You can't.
So you fell asleep on your cake, and naturally, then Louis and I immediately insisted you come and show us the evidence. And we do have photo evidence here.
Don't show it. Don't show it. Oh, Jesus.
It's
It's not that bad. That's not that bad at all. I mean, it looks a little pooey. It looks like I pooped my bed.
Well,
I
put
know,
the
that's
poo
where-
in Phil's sheets.
Yeah, that's a king size sheet, everybody.
Are you sure that this isn't like an elaborate cake, like
No,
subterfuge to
no,
did you
it's-
crap the bed,
it's-
Phil?
The McCain frosting. It was just up right over. Yeah.
Was it all over your clothes then too?
Yeah. Yeah. It was way more on my clothes than the blanket. Yeah. Those red flannels are no longer with us. Because I couldn't get you told me to wash the sheets, right? So I washed the sheets, and then I tried to use a butter knife for my pants, and it made it worse. It's soaked in, and I know. And it's worse when your son's staring at you, pure judgment. And I'm like, don't you have something else you could go do? And he didn't. Just watched and judged his father.
It's the greatest thing ever. I've never heard anyone sleep on a cake, but
well, it's not the first time it's happened, boys. I'll promise you that.
Really?
No, of course.
Wow.
The worst for me is when it's on my chest and I fall asleep like this, and then it just mushes right in there without a shirt on, right? And I'm a hairy chest, so it gets pretty bad sometimes. Hot water in the shower. It's good. It just milks it off.
And all this time, you haven't thought, God, maybe I just shouldn't eat in bed anymore?
I don't normally eat in bed. I just like once every 2 weeks, I'll treat myself to like 6 chocolate dips donuts, Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like going to diabetic comas and pass out then, or what happens?
I definitely don't feel good the next day. I really don't. So I try to do it on Saturdays because I don't hit the gym on Sundays.
Yeah.
So that's Saturday's the day.
Okay, that's your cheat day.
It's my
Gotcha.
well, I don't call it. It's my I want to do it day.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll move on.
Can we
to
talk
the
about
shows.
hockey cards?
Yeah. No. We got to talk about the show. We in our Slab Sharks Studio. So it was amazing having a home base at the show and a spot to record content to produce Monday's show, a bunch of the interviews that we're gonna air today. But it did add a whole layer of complication onto the whole Rip Party thing because instead of like not doing in addition to not doing anything and then adding Rip Party, we had our studio show as well. And I guess other than the obvious challenge of the background noise, I kind of had fun recording all together at the show. I liked us all being in person. What did you guys think?
Go, Louis.
I thought it was awesome. It's we always talk about wanting to be able to be all together and do a show, and this just was proof in the pudding there that I had a blast just sitting together with the two of you, just letting it go. It was fun.
It was great. I loved being in the same room. I found our timing can be way better. I can look at your mouths and know when you're thinking, so I can interrupt you much easier and professionally. How great. I mean, I made a bobo with Ken Reed, but he picked it up fantastically. It was a great learning experience, and I loved hanging out with you guys in the same room. So I think we should remedy this in the future because we could give the good listener a better show when we're all like, imagine we had like our own little studio or something with send stuff everywhere. It'd be awesome. That'd be really good.
Probably not. It was so much easier to interview people in person, I thought.
Much easier.
It's very much conversational and it flowed. The only bummer was again the background noise. Nothing you can do when there's thousands of people and
those clappers.
Oh, the hand clappers.
Oh my goodness, who did that? And they gave them out at our like second interview. It's like what like that hour we had that interview is when they gave them out. My lord.
There was one time where there was like a 9-year-old kid. You probably didn't see it, Louis, because you're in the tent.
Oh, I wanted to.
He was just like in the picture about 5 feet behind the camera, just staring at us doing the hand clapper thing.
I couldn't look at him. I made eye contact once. I'm like, your parents are going to be really sad soon if you don't stop doing that, kid. I will end you right here, right now.
In addition to doing the show, though, it just gave us that home base, right? We had the couch was super comfortable. So we had lots of friends and followers and watchers and good listeners of the show that not only stopped by to say hello, but we could offer them a place to rest their weary bones. Because it could be a long day walking around at the show. Got to meet a lot of fans, old and young, and so was able to give kids stickers. Kids really like stickers, so that was pretty fun. And again, it was such an honor for us to get to chat with so many people that do enjoy our show. So I want to give a last, probably maybe not last, but a huge thanks to Slab Sharks for making all that possible.
Yeah, big thank you to our sugar daddy Karn and his team. That was home base is the best way to say it. All I had to do anywhere I was when I got the text message, Phil, where are you? I just looked up, saw the Slab Sharks, and I bolted, and it was great.
Well, my running joke while we were there, and it was funny, I think, because it was 100% true. Nothing was said more at our space than "Where's Phil?"
Yeah,
but
between us and everyone else that came to see us, we're like, "Oh, where's Phil?" Because you're kind of guy that you just needed to go and do your thing. And
you let me though, Josh. It worked out really well, and you just gave me times. I respected the times. I was never late. I look like I'm a late person, but I'm actually extremely punctual. Yeah. And you kept me on a leash, but it was very, very long. Thank you. I love that. Thank you. You get me.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't think I said this earlier, but being at that, people knew where to find us. I mean, within 10 minutes of being there, I was already $100 lighter because Seth had come over and found us and handed me a stack of cards. He's like, Louis, I know you're gonna like some of these. Why don't you take a look? I'm like, oh, geez, Louise, here we go.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that. Cool, great. And just having people stop by, it was awesome.
He's been collecting for 6 months for you. That was his moment, Louis.
Yeah, there you go. He had you in his targets.
Yeah.
And I agree with you though, Louis, because we did not, especially the first few days, had almost no time to go walk around the show and look at stuff. And yeah, people kind of brought the stuff that we liked to us, and that was a huge help. So thank you very much for people doing that. And one other thing I want to mention too, and this gets me really uncomfortable, is we got a lot of gifts
Yes.
and
Too many.
really, really, really appreciative to that. And I kind of want to explain like why it makes me so uncomfortable. It's because I've thought a lot about this over the last few days, and it is probably just me. I'm sure it's just me, but a little bit I have this fear that I don't want anyone to ever think that my relationship with them is transactional. Meaning that if you come up to say hi, like you maybe assume, well, where's my gift? Right? I mean, all the gifts were very, very thoughtful and incredibly appreciated. And maybe what I need to do, because I talked to my wife about this, is she's like, well, people want to give you these. So just accept it and say
Yeah.
thank you and
Yeah.
be happy. And so I'm trying to work on that, but I feel like I always need to say it's not necessary. Honestly, when people come up to us and just say hello and introduce themselves and tell them that they like our show, that in of itself is a huge gift.
It's priceless. You can't
It's
put a price tag on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think about anything you want to add to that?
Well, your fear is not mine, but I do have a fear. I see.
Okay.
I can't grasp that. Yeah, like if someone wants to give me a gift, I know they want giving always feels a bit better. So I know that's
Yeah.
how they feel. I have no problem. Do you want to give me gifts? I'll take them all. My problem is my big fear, my paranoia is I say a lot of things and no, that's the wrong thing to say. I probably will not remember who gave me the gift. And
Oh, yeah.
that is what is my fear because it happened. Fear unlocked. Somebody said, "Oh yeah, do you love?" And I lied. They said, "Do you love that Brady Tkachuk card I gave you?" I said, "Yeah, man, I love that card. I still have it. I've never traded or given anything away. I have a special box. I do not associate the gift with the person." And I'm trying
Sure.
to think of like that. That's like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I just don't remember who gave me what. I'd much rather your friendship. So I think
Yeah.
we start here, we differ, but we want to end in the same spot. And
Mhm.
Right.
I want the friendships. And I thought, would this be creepy? Like, hey man, nice to meet you. Thank you for the show. Do you mind if I take a selfie with you and then of the card, and then we keep a spreadsheet of everybody? Is that
Oh,
a
yeah,
little?
it's a good idea.
I
No?
just because the cards are the stars and the hobby is what the interactions is what we love. I don't want to screw that up, and I feel like I am screwing that up. The more we're on the show, more people are watching the show. I think it's very important to remember people's faces and names and associate the two together. Right? That's
Of
respectful.
course.
But I also hope people understand that it's hard to remember that many people. So
Yeah.
hence the Excel spreadsheet.
I'm sure they do, and
Some do.
it's I had one or two that said thank you from like BLN cards. Ben, he made a note on there, so I know for sure what he
Yeah.
gave me, and it's not necessary, but I still
Beyond
think
grateful and
a lot of
flattered.
people like to give, and that's what makes them feel good too. So
I think we all like to give too. So I
Yep.
can, I don't, and you were very, very popular, Baba Louie. When you're back and people come up, where's Baba Louie? Like, he's here. I'll go get him. Yeah, you were the hit. Everyone
Yeah,
wanted to talk to you.
every time I came back to the tent, Lou's like, check out what I got. I'm like, where's the hockey card tree? Where's it coming from? Unbelievable. Good job, Louis.
Somebody even
Um,
recognized Baba Louie at the urinal. That was super
Yeah.
comfortable, huh?
Actually, it wasn't that bad though, because I actually had followed him into the bathroom, and then we were standing at the urinal, and he was nice enough to wait till we got to the sink, and he turned and looked at
Oh.
me and he said, "Hey, it's Baba Louie in the flesh."
Wow.
You know,
That's-
it's like, oh, sweet. Well, we didn't have to have a conversation, elbow to
Yeah,
elbow,
there we
right?
go. Okay, I want to move on to a couple of the events and just touch on those briefly. So Thursday night, we ended up, of course, at Jeremy Lee's networking event at Jack Astor's. I think Jeremy mentioned to me it was a record turnout. There were a ton of people. This must have been early because it was very hard to
Yeah.
get a seat when it filled up. So we were able to hang out. We met a lot of people. Got a couple of cocktails. We ordered food and fantastic shrimp pad thai. So good on them for that.
Glad yours was
And
good.
yeah, you don't like yours, right?
No,
What are your chicken you were having bad luck with chicken sandwiches all
it
weekend.
was.
How do
Yep.
you screw up a chicken sandwich?
That's them.
Yeah. But anyways, Jeremy's event has become, I think, such an integral part of the Expo experience. And one thing that I thought of about this is I really like how it's at the beginning of the Expo, because you end up meeting people that then you see all throughout the next 3 or 4 days, and can kind of continue to develop that hobby relationship or friendship, whatever you want to call it. And so again, a very, very cool event. I think Upper Deck bought all the food, so nice of them to do that. Yeah. Any other notes or comments you guys have on Jack Astor's?
I took probably more chicken wings than I should have, and Jeremy caught me.
Yeah, you had, dude. So it was like
I
a little
was-
buffet.
I counted. I had 8. And you know what the trick is? Okay, it looks like a lot on one plate. I saw people going up 4 times for like 2s and 3s. So ultimately, law of averages, who's the worst person? The other people. I
You
was
had
hungry.
Chicken Wing Mountain on your plate, and you
I
got
haven't
caught.
eaten chicken wings in like 10 years, man. I seriously, that's the first time I've had wings in like 10 years. They were delicious.
I went up twice, and I think I had 6 or 7 total. So like 4 once and 3 the next.
I'm gonna guess you had closer to 10.
Why?
Were
No
you
reason.
counting?
Just call it a
Mhm.
gut
Were you
feeling.
counting Baba Louie's wings, Phil?
No, I'm
Mhm.
just.
Okay.
I don't like when other people are counting mine.
Well, it
didn't
was
count.
impossible not to. You had the plates were tiny, and yours.
I had 1 plate only, and it just looked. It was perception is reality. That's fine. I'll give it to you, boys. It's okay.
Okay.
I thought you only had 1, so sorry.
Thanks, Louis.
Ooh. So then, of course, we had Rip Party Friday night. Saturday night, we had the Mintink trade night. And I got to be honest, I was worried that I was not going to have enough energy for that. We were up, of course, super late the night before Rip Party, and then had a very fun but long day at the show on Saturday. And so I was thinking, if I last an hour at this trade night, it'll be a miracle. I had so much fun though. And I think we stayed like the full hour and a half, which was kind of the max we could stay, because we had to leave for our friends' night at the chateau. But I honestly could have stayed a lot longer. I mean, Johnny and team did a fantastic job again. Huge amount of people.
Yeah.
It's a very large like ballroom or conference room at the wherever at the International Center. All the tables were full. It looked like people were doing deals. I went around, just had tons of great conversation. Phil, you were flying around talking to a bunch of people too.
Yeah, I was
having a
fun.
good time. So yeah, another great Expo event by the Mikey and team, and Steve Menzie and Johnny at Mintink. So good on them for that.
Trade night though, back to that. Music was awesome. It felt it was great, man. They had some dealers around the border. That was probably the best trade night I've ever been in. And I'm not really a fan of trade nights because I'm a card snob. And that was awesome. I looked at every table twice. I bumped in a couple of good people. I met a couple of guys from Instagram. They're Toronto guys, but hardcore Sens fan. I would have never found them if I didn't go to trade night. It was excellent. I would like to say an ending story. When we left, I don't know, I left on my own, and because Josh, you were just chatting away. You were the most tired, but you're the one who stayed the longest. I left the area of trade night, the auditorium there, and I tried to go out the doors to the left to go back to our cars, and the security guard said, "No, you can't go that way." And I asked him if he could let me in, and he responded so sarcastically, "Oh, you're so important. I'm going to drop everything I have to do just to walk you through." Like, just very, I mean, it was funny. He trolled me. So I was like, okay, never mind. So I kind of made a little fun of him back. Anyways, I said, so I have to go out these doors to the right. He said, yes. I said, what would be the fastest way to the trucks? He goes, you better go left or you're going to end up walking around the whole building. I don't know if he did it on purpose, but the answer was go right. It wasn't left. So he made me.
He trolled you.
He trolled me. It took me about 25 minutes to get back to the truck. So when you guys got back to the chateau, I left half an hour before you, but we got home at the same time.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I saw him the next day, and I was the better person. I didn't say anything.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, they were a little weird about like parking there too. Like as we were exhibitors.
Yeah,
and
it didn't
exhibitors
matter.
have stuff, and they wouldn't let you get anywhere near the drop-off area. And I kept asking them, well, how do exhibitors with stuff drop off their stuff if you can't go there?
It's crazy.
And they just didn't ever seem to care. So I thought that was a little weird.
It was bonkers. I parked at the civilian parking the whole weekend after the first night. It was much closer. So if everyone who wants a vendor pass, because when I was more of a civilian and I had to pay the passes, you'd always want a vendor pass. Like, oh, they're, you can get in quicker and you can see stuff. No, the regular pass is 10 times better than the vendor pass.
Yeah. Well, we had to leave after about an hour and a half because we had planned the whole time for Friends Night back at the chateau. And we knew coming to the expo, we were going to be very, very busy this whole weekend. And so kind of we had engineered this Friends Night as just no cameras, just everyone staying at the chateau. We invited a bunch of friends of the show that, that we've known from the past and people we had met this weekend just to hang out, have fun, relax, and kind of do what we do there, right? And open up cards and boxes. And we've told the story before, but this is how the whole concept of, or the whole idea of Rip Party had started in the first place. And it was I think my favorite night of the whole experience.
Yeah.
I love this. I wish we, in a way that we could do it the whole time we were there, just again, hang out and be friends. And so I think no matter
a free
go
pass
ahead.
a free pass to be silly and not be worried that someone's recording it. Not that I ever do anyways, but it was a fun night, man. It was great.
100%. You have fun at Friends Night, Baba Louie?
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Wait.
Yep.
That was another Baba Louie Hobby hot take.
I can start to smell those like a fart in the wind now, buddy. I know when they're coming.
So, okay, we're almost done here. But so on Sunday, had another great day of interviews at the show. And then, of course, the show ends. We have to pack up our booth, head back to the chateau on Monday's show. What I'll remember about Sunday night is we were all just exhausted. We had a lot of work to do, and that was a little tough. Sometimes the show, it's mostly amazing. Sometimes it could be tough. I don't think any of us wanted to do all the editing and get ready, but we did it, and we made it through it, and had Monday show. And that sometimes in life, that's what it's about, right? Getting through it.
The mail too. Don't forget, after you guys finished editing, I didn't have to help with editing the show, but we did the mail, all of us.
Yeah,
right?
Trying to sort out Rip Party packages, what goes where, and so that was a little tough.
There were no buts about it. How many people I had say, "You guys are gonna get a show in, so I have something to listen to on the way home," right?
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, we did it.
Consistency is key, man.
We're always committed to that. A couple of the notes on that I want to talk just about the show itself before we're done here. So I did have the opportunity to do a couple panel interviews again and interviews. So I was able to do a panel with Jeremy Lee and Dr. Collectible talking about hobby heat check, I think was the topic. Of course, love anything I do with Jeremy, and Daryl, Dr. Collectible, is a really nice guy. So I had fun doing that. And then I had the amazing opportunity to interview a couple of Hall of Famers. So the first one was Grant Fuhr. That was awesome. My brother was a goalie growing up, and Grant Fuhr was his favorite player, and so kind of felt special doing that. And then Serge Savard, which I think I have a picture. I couldn't find one though. I was really nervous about Serge for some reason. I prepared for both him and Grant Fuhr, but I think it was because basically he played before I was born.
He's a living legend. Not that Grant Fuhr isn't, but there's something.
Yeah, and I just didn't want to ask a stupid question that was bred in my, being an American in my naivete, and so I was really, but that went well too. And so, I mean, it's crazy now that I've got to talk to Al McInnes and Grant Fuhr and Serge Savard, and I'll remember that.
Dr. Collectible.
Yeah, Dr. Collectible.
Daryl.
For the rest of my life. I kind of wanted to wrap up just with our thoughts on the show itself. And interested, I think, Phil, Louie and I didn't get a lot of opportunity to walk around the show. We did a little bit. I think the last day was probably the most we had. And so I'm really interested to get your thoughts, Phil. So the expo this time had a new layout, a different layout than it had in the last couple of years. So it returned to Hall 2 at the International Center. There was some big pros to it. It was nice to have everyone in the same area, not separated by halls. Usually it's kind of like, there's like Hall 5 and 4 or something like that, where you had to go through a big long hallway to get between the two. And so everyone was more together. It was confusing though, because I had the old layout felt like, that very comfortable sweatshirt or hat. It just, you knew where everything was. If I wanted to go talk to Jeremy, I knew exactly where he would be, or to get to the upper deck booth. So I spent the first 2 days lost, basically. What about you guys?
Yeah, I was lost as well, but I can't stress enough the above. I mean, what are they called? Circular banners. So
Yeah,
at the expo
help
they
you.
have these big circular banners above said stations, right? So upper deck, it has above the upper deck entity.
Yep.
So anytime I got lost, I just looked up for Slab Sharks or Mintink, and that's where I could catch my bearings. So overall, I do like it better because I don't like the hall separation. I felt we were a bigger hobby family this way. Saying that, there was little crevices I'd get lost in where I couldn't see the big banners. Like Steve Angel, Quincy Cards. He's one of the best tables at the expo. I only went to him once with Louis. I couldn't find it again. And I would always think, oh, I'll just go later. I'll just go. I only saw Steve one time. And usually I buy a decent amount from him. So it's things like that. I agree with you. The familiarity of it, I'm still saying that wrong, was missed. But I do think it was better to have it in a broader section like that. And so a lot of good friends of the show had bigger tables. And I was pretty happy to see some of our friends, like granted GP Sports, he had a huge section. I don't know if that would have been available for him in the other layout. So I'm happy that he got that. Overall, I liked it better.
I didn't mind the layout. I April's is very easy to figure out if you weren't going down the hall or into the other halls. But like the main one, that was easy. It was 5 or 6 aisles, you just down, up, down, up, down, up. And this one was twice as many with 2 cross sections. And I just took it chunk by chunk. Keith and I went out for a while and hit this chunk. And then I went with Phil. We kind of looked through that chunk. And I probably saw maybe 30% of all of it.
I know they said it was bigger, but the feeling was that the square footage was not as big. Just like my body. I mean, I'm not a human diameter calculator, but it just didn't have the gargantuan feeling from before. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I know I'm wrong, but
it felt cozier. Maybe I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, cozy's good. Cozy. Can we make it bigger and cozier? Well,
I don't think so. I think the ceiling was higher in the other hall too.
Oh, really?
Well, because I went up. Remember, we went upstairs to the secret bathrooms, and then there was that little cutout where you could look over the whole place.
You didn't know about secret bathrooms at the old expo hall?
No, I always have to use the public ones. Put the toilet paper down, like you protect the germs.
No. There's secret bathrooms. I didn't see that in this one, or I wasn't privy to it in this. I'm sure there were.
Well, I'd like to be privy to a secret bathroom next time.
Okay, no, I haven't seen any official attendance numbers or anything like that, but it had to be very strong. I mean, it was busy, kind of like from Thursday through Sunday through the end. Like people were still shopping as people were tearing down booths, right?
Has to be the busiest expo. Look at Sunday. I remember 6 months ago, dealers were packing up at like 12 and 1. Nobody was packing up before 4 of this one. People buying heavy deals all day Sunday. It was nuts, man. It was great turnout.
You probably talked to more, Phil, but every dealer I talked to seemed pretty happy too.
I did not find one dealer that made a complaint, and I know a couple of crusty old farts, and they were happy to. Yep, good, made good money. Like that, and that means it was ecstatic. It wasn't just a heavy turnout. People were spending, people were trading, deals were happening. Didn't you guys feel like people were a little happier in general?
I echo that. I didn't hear any complaints. I didn't hear any like, oh, it's a little light right now, or nobody's doing deals. No. Like I think one of the last shows, it was either last time or the time before, people were kind of like, everyone wants to trade, nobody wants to spend money. I heard nothing of that sort.
There was always a kind of a sour sucky baby theme. No sucky baby theme this time. It was great. Even Friday was packed. Like, I mean, no one goes to work anymore. I mean, so obviously Friday's going to be packed, but that was great, man.
The one thing that I was disappointed in was wax prices. I don't know what's going on. There was not the deals that you typically get. Like, and things were, I wouldn't say everything, and I wouldn't say that it was completely out of hand, but there is, you kind of expect like there's, whether it's Allure or Ice or Parker's Champions, like people are buying Parker's Champions for like $40 in the US here, and we were seeing it for 200 Canadian. So I mean, you have to do
I bought Series 2 for $300 from the same dealer who was selling Parker's Champions for $200. I was like, what? You might want to check the sticker. But he knows. I was like, oh, you're Parker's Champions 200. He's like, yep. Okay, I'll take my Series 2 for $3. See you later.
Yeah. And so there just wasn't, like, I feel like in spring, there was such good deals, we couldn't stop buying wax.
Yeah, it was crazy. We got a lure for like, what, $80 in the spring? It was crazy.
It was $180. Well, we paid, but it was different. It wasn't 23, 24 a lure.
Bedard tax on it.
Yeah, Bedard.
And we didn't get any Bedards.
Well, that's what I had. Anything I forgot?
I feel like
probably
something. Yeah.
There's a lot to forget, man. It was
a blur.
Yeah. Have you guys looked at your cards yet? Like, have you put them in your binders? No, me neither. I haven't looked at anything just for what you made me do for mail day.
Yeah. Made you do.
You made me do it. I don't like looking at my cards right away. I like looking at them. I like to build up the suspense, and then that's how I get, because I got to make it legit,
Okay. Well, I guess we should end on again. We met so many people there. You couldn't possibly name them all. It's crazy how many people we met. It took me an hour to eat a hot dog at one point because I kept going back for a bite in between people. And it was just, like I said, a beautiful experience. And so thank you to everyone that came to say hello. And it puts a lot of juice in our batteries to make this show, to hear all the kind words that people said.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to roll on. One of the conversations I was most excited about to have at the Slab Sharks Studio was our planned check-in with Sylvain for Confessions of a Card Dealer, Chapter 7. And the last time we checked in with Sylvain, he had just gotten back from the Montreal Expo, Van City Card Show, and was preparing for the Fall Expo. We caught up with him on Sunday. We wanted to wait until the end of the Expo to get a sense of, well, how the weekend went for him. Is he going to be happy Sylvain or sad Sylvain? And so without further ado, as the French say, Phil, please enjoy Chapter 7 of Confessions of a Card Dealer.
It feels weird not having the church bells for Confessions of a Card Dealer. Is this chapter 7 or 8?
7.
Chapter 7. All right, chapter 7. Dong, dong. Phil, church bells. Dong,
dong, dong, bum, bum, bum.
We're here, Slab Sharks Studio, live from the Toronto Sport Card Expo. It is Sunday. We did this at the end on purpose. Yeah. Because for this chapter of Confessions of the Card Dealer, we want to know, what the life of a card dealer is like at the Sport Card Expo. So you've been here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and now most of the day Sunday. So let's just start big picture. How's the show been? Like, break 1 to 10.
So if we're going by the 5 shows I've been to so far, it's my best one. So there'd probably be chances of a better show. But if we're doing 1 to 10 out of all the shows I've done, it's a 10. But I want to say 9 because I'm sure I'll have a better show in the future. So I'll go with 9. So very, very good.
That's a good number. Now, do you get nervous coming into a show like this? Because if it doesn't go well, that's probably, that's going to hurt, right, in the short term?
I get very nervous, well, especially this time around, because it's my first time without a job. So,
we have a job.
You have a job, Sylvain. What are you talking about?
Okay, so it's my first time without an employer. So usually, if I don't do great at a show, which I've had shows that weren't that great,
sure,
I'm like, well, my steady paycheck is still coming in. So this time around, there were definitely extra nerves.
Yeah.
But I also, and on the flip side of that, it made me hold my ground and be more firm on a lot of deals because I'm like, no, I'm not.
And that's an area you've been working on yourself, right?
Yes. Which on that topic, it's funny. So all the deals I made, I was happy with, except the first one.
What happened?
Well, I'd been kind of premeditating. Okay, hold firm, hold your ground,
and you caved like a cheap 10, didn't you?
Yeah, I caved. Well, I caved a little more.
Go through the details.
So basically, I really like these guys, but there are a few guys that come to see me and they want trades. Sometimes they want trade in cash, but the values that they have on their cards.
Bonkers.
Well, it's basically exactly comps, and then they want me to wiggle a bit on my sticker, and
so they want you to pay comps, and they want to get a discount on the trade as well.
So how do you handle that? Like, I would struggle greatly thinking, how are you not aware that I need to make money? You know, so that's got to be frustrating right off the bat if they're not even on the same wavelength as you.
Right, exactly. And what's funny is he showed me a number which was 54%. He's like, we're off by 54%. I was like, where did you get that number? He's like,
what were the cards? Can you explain?
Okay, so I've done so many transactions. Actually, let me pull out my phone and check my notes. But
let's call them card A and card B.
Pardon?
No, nothing.
Well, people like the details.
No, I know.
No,
they're gonna flash it up on the screen,
and if he watches this, like, I want you to know, like, I still like you. I can't make deals like this anymore.
You can not like someone and respect them.
Right.
You can not like someone
and not want to do business with them
exactly,
too, right?
Exactly.
Very good point.
So it was, I gave him a car PSA 10 and gave him $80 cash for a Jack Hughes PSA 10. So 2 Jack Hughes PSA 10 and an Adam Fox Future Watch Auto Raw.
Ooh, I like Adam Fox.
I do too.
Yeah.
But like we went on the last comp of the Adam Fox, which was like 220, but his regular comps are about 150. So I ended up giving him $80 cash. The guy right after him was like, oh, I wanted that Makar. I would have paid $620 cash. And I had told that guy that we traded, I'll do it for $600 cash. So I'm actually grateful that this happened on my first deal, because I thought, like,
so in your mind, you lost that deal?
Yes.
But you sharpened your saw a little bit. You
Okay.
blunted it, but then you got like, I got to sharpen this.
Yes, immediately. I immediately adjusted. So I'm
cut.
happy it happened on the first deal.
Yeah.
I thought, dagnabbit, Sylvain, like, what are you doing? You told yourself you wouldn't do this.
Gosh darn it, Sylvain.
Yeah.
Idiot. But no, seriously though, after that went down, did you do a mental like reset where you're like,
Yes.
okay, I can't keep operating this way?
Absolutely. And then he put out a number. He's like, we're 54% off. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, he wanted $120 cash from me, and I was willing to give him $40.
Yeah.
And I said 54%. Obviously, it's a different number. I was like, dude, your percentage is irrelevant to, like, if you say we're 50%, we're a difference of 50%, that means, like, okay, from comps and what I'm willing to pay, but that difference is irrelevant to, it just made it sound like I was being harsher on the deal because we were 50% off in my favor.
Could be a tactic he uses.
Yeah, but I told him, like, dude, that, like, so it just, when people throw numbers...
Do you wish you just would have said no at this point? And
I should have just said no.
I wish you didn't ask the question at this point.
Yeah. I should have just said no.
I'm busy.
Like,
But you live and learn, right?
Yes, exactly. But so this was every single deal after this deal I was happy with. So there's just one deal I'm not happy with. Every other deal. So this is the show I've made the less deals, but I'm also the happiest with all of them except my first.
Small yet mighty.
And like I might have lost like $20. Like it's not the end of the world, but but
you learned a lesson.
Yeah.
So you invested $20 into better strategy going forward. So what type of deals are you doing most here this week? Is it cash deals? Is it trades? Are you buying more? Are you selling more? Is it a mix of everything? What's been going on?
Mix of everything. I want to say the bulk of it, like at least half of that, were like trades and cash.
Okay.
I had quite a few big trade and cash deals that I'm very happy with. I can go into detail if you want, but we might not have time for all of that. But we also, like, I want to say half of them were just straight up cash deals. I did sell one pretty big PSA 10 lot of Young Guns, and we were like about 88% off my sticker price, which I'm happy with. Okay. Yeah, the guy ended up dropping like 3 large, and I had it priced
$30.
Yeah,
3,000. What about American money? I've never seen more American money in my life than this Expo.
Really?
Non-stop. I have like $800 American in my pocket, and I haven't sold a card. How does that make sense? I don't understand how that got in there. I don't. I have no idea.
Is that annoying? Does American money complicate things for you?
Louis bought something with American money from me.
sure.
It does a little bit.
So annoying.
But I ended up.
You know, wait, can I ask you something? You know what some other Canadian wheeler and dealer told me? Is that he said, actually what I do is I keep a stash of American money, so I have it to do deals in.
Okay.
Like, you know, he just keeps like an American bankroll. I don't. Do you do that too, or do you just convert everything back to?
I don't do that, but I'm also like, I'm still wet behind the ears a little bit. Every expo, my game level's up, and something's click, and I'm like, oh, I should try this approach next time. But I had 2 people give me American money, and it was Louis and Dave.
Oh my goodness, they're taking advantage of your friendship.
Yeah, no.
California Dave and Bubba Louie.
But I ended up the money that Dave gave me, I ended up making a deal and paying it in 200 US.
I hope you rounded to your favor though, right?
Oh,
like you gotta penalize them.
Yeah, a little bit.
Be honest. How bad do you screw Louis over on the conversion rate?
$5. I ended up making $5.
There you go. Well, I mean, in fairness, right? It creates another job for you because now you have a task to go convert this into my own currency.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there should be a small penalty for that. Bank would charge you a currency conversion fee.
Yeah.
So you're the first bank of Savannah, I guess.
What about when friends look in your showcases? Do you feel obligated to give a deal? And it's a 2-part question. Secondly, when you don't give a deal, why don't you feel obligated?
So it really depends on how I got the card. Like the cards, the first transaction that I talked to you about, I was a little bit tighter on those Jack Hughes because I'm like, well, I didn't grade them myself. I feel like I overpaid. I just bought a Jack Hughes PSA 10 Young Guns for $220, but I gave this guy $260 in trade value. Like that doesn't really make sense. If I grade it myself, you know, if I pay $100 for Jack Hughes and it comes a 10, and my friend wants that, I've got wiggle on that sticker. Okay. So I'll give a good deal. So it really depends on if I graded it myself, how I got it, if I'm happy with the way I acquired it.
Okay.
With a friend, if it's a card where I'm not happy with how I acquired it, I'm okay giving them my break-even price.
Okay. Like cost.
Yeah.
I don't like doing deals with friends. Like I bought a card from you, and I only buy cards. No, I hated you way before. I only will do a deal with a friend if I'm comfortable not negotiating. If it comes to I don't want to negotiate, right? Because I don't want anyone to. So you got a card I needed. We'll talk about it on our next show.
Sure.
And you said the price, and I just said okay, and paid the money. But I don't know about you. Do you like negotiating with friends, Phil?
No, the reason I brought it up is because Sylvain last night said, well, none of my friends ever come and look at my showcase, and the room kind of went quiet, and we all know why. We don't want him to feel... I mean, I don't mind, but you guys don't want him to feel obligated to give us a deal.
No.
This, especially since Sylvain has quit his job, this is his livelihood. Like, if you want me to trim your hedge, you're paying me, but I feel obligated to give you a deal. So for friends, hire a different hedge trimming company. I don't want to see your hedge.
No, and I actually said that after I made that comment. I think
did.
I know why. Well, what's funny is Neil, there's a little funny story about Neil, how he paid $30 over the sticker price of a card he saw in my display, and I would have given him a really good deal on that because I graded it myself. But I said, you guys are welcome to just come and check it out at the beginning.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, maybe.
I like watching the princess work, you know? I like watching her do well.
So
And
you watch yourself work in the mirror? Is that what you do?
And Neil's Expo mom, by the way, just to get that out there. Okay, so, and the show's not over. There's still probably some deals to be had. But where you're sitting right now, do you feel more comfortable or less comfortable having just quit your job recently as a result of the show?
Way more comfortable.
Oh, good. Nice.
But I'm
like relieved in a little bit, or
yes.
Okay.
Very relieving. But I also got lucky I graded 4 cards. 3 of them came back 10s.
Yeah, can you talk about that? How everyone, you said that you've gotten feedback from a lot of people that have been doing on-site grading here, and it's been a little rough, huh?
It's been quite rough. Yeah, I have a friend who submitted 40 cards. and
40?
0 of them got 10s.
I know what that pain's like.
Yeah, we all do, Phil. Good to you.
Yeah.
I submitted 3
Stuck with you.
cards, and 2 of them got 10s.
So
And-
there is, I'm telling you, less cards. Less cards are more generous
Maybe.
on the grades.
But the two 10s were my biggest cards.
What were they?
So I got one of my first transactions after that trade, I bought a Matthew Nyes, Phil's favorite rookie, an orange checkered auto. And out of 15, last sold was $1,500 raw. I bought that. I think I paid around $1,200 because I told him I'd sticker it at 15, but it looked really clean. He said he pulled it. I graded it and it got a 10. I also
Now, when you did that, did you grade? Do you do the auto grade too?
no,
Why not?
because from my experience with hockey, especially with hockey, I've noticed with other sports this doesn't seem to be the case, so it might change. But with hockey, a 10 auto grade doesn't give that much of a bump in value but the cost is much higher. So if you get
Really?
a 10-9, like it's even less
it's
than
going to kill the value of the card, right?
Yeah, but a 10-10 doesn't even up it that much, so it's just not worth the
I
risk.
don't understand how they grade grades
Well,
either.
they have professional autograph graders.
Okay, yeah, we'll have to learn about that because I have a
Yeah.
lot of questions.
Yeah.
In that regard. Okay, so as a Matthew Nyes orange checkers rookie, what was the other big one?
So the other was, so this was part of a big trade that I did for my McKinnon draft day marks, the full set. One of the cards that the big card that came my way was a Mitch Marner Future Watch Auto inscribed BGS 9.5.
Big card.
So, and it was a soft 9.5. There was a 9 in there, but it looked really clean to me. I cracked it, submitted it, and now it's a PSA 10.
Wow.
I was there when he got the grade. He was really happy.
Yeah.
Do you do like a dance? Can you show us that?
I always dance. Well,
I was uncomfortable.
whatever you want with it.
Okay. So now those cards that you just got, have you picked them up?
So I got the orange checker,
Yeah.
but so the other card that I graded was a Matthew Nyes Future Watch Auto.
Okay.
Which is like the $300 card raw. A lot of my friends were like, why would you grade that on site? My logic was because if it's a 10, it's the first in the market.
Oh.
So, but it didn't get a 10, which is fine, but it's not a big card.
Yeah.
So, you know, it cost me $120 to get that graded. If that was a 10, being first to market would have been huge, but I've got a Pop 1 orange checker.
Wait, $120?
Yeah, that's the cost to grade
For
on site.
Yeah.
on site and quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so you have to bake that in to your ROI calculation. Okay, so the orange checkers is the big one here. Do you still have it, or have you been
Yeah.
able to move it?
Yeah. Well, I just got it maybe a couple hours ago. I put a sticker on it.
Well, what's wrong with you?
I think, what's that?
I'll trade you a Leo Carlson
Yeah.
clear cut. I got that in a break. I got that in a box yesterday.
So what are you selling it for now?
I put a $2,500 sticker on it.
Okay, and you paid no one's going to see this till after, but
Right.
So that'd be a good profit. That would be a nice win.
Yeah, really nice win.
And you should get it because you took the risk. You bought a raw card.
Yeah. You put the
spent
work in.
Premium to grade. Now, do you get upcharged on something like that
I
too?
did not, but you can comp that. Like, it's hard to value that with I find with PSA, sometimes you get upcharged, sometimes you don't. But with cards that are a little bit more rare, that don't have comps, it's usually don't get an upcharge because they can't prove why.
So what's the biggest deal in total you've done so far?
Probably that McKinnon draft day mark. I moved that for, I want to say, probably about $4,500 worth of cards, including that Marner, plus $1,000 cash. So now that Marner, is worth quite a bit more that it's a PSA 10 now. So I want to say I probably got about $600 to $6,500 in value for that draft day mark.
Wow.
But I had it stickered at $5,400.
Yeah.
But it's because of that bump up that I got that much.
Now, after the show, are you going to have, where's your inventory going to be? Is it going to be bigger than when you came or smaller?
No, quite smaller. Today I sold I want to say
That's
like
good, right?
earlier.
That's
Yeah.
what we
Oh
want.
yeah. And the plan was for me, the only cards that are coming back with me are raw cards that I'm going to grade. Everything else,
Nice.
I'm doing an inventory reset here. Everything else is getting auctioned.
Auction?
Yeah. Everything
Okay.
else.
Right away, or are you going to spread it out, or
I
just
might spread
roll
out
it?
some doubles. But now, yeah, I don't have that many doubles anymore. I had a bunch of Jack Hughes Young Guns PSA 10s. I had 4, and they're gone. I just acquired another one. I might keep that for shows because
In your opinion, right now, is that the easiest card to buy and sell?
By far.
Really?
Really?
by far, it like
Because it's at that, it's like a couple $100, so most people can afford it,
Yep.
but everybody wants it,
Yeah.
yeah,
and there's a ton of them,
it's
right?
high supply, high demand,
Yeah.
and they move super easy.
So are you gonna just war chest for the next 6 months, build a huge inventory, scale it up, and come back, unload, repeat?
No. So basically, my approach is I like grading cards myself because the profit margin's higher. But when it's Expo time, I don't mind buying a bunch of graded cards if I can make a deal or a lot deal. So I'm probably not going to war. I don't take cards and say I'm saving this for the Expo because I have a lot of shows that
Yeah,
I
you
go
got to turn them over. You
Yes.
can't hold cards for 6 months.
Well, you
Yeah,
came
the
with a
only
lot of
bad stuff
cards,
happens.
though, didn't you?
Yeah, but a lot of those cards I want to say I acquired in the last month and a half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I
So no saving. Keep the machine flipping.
yeah.
Nice.
The McKinnon draft day mark. That was the only one that I got in May. That was the only set of cards that I had for more than 2 months.
I think on our very first chapter, you had actually, if I remember right, you said that was one you might actually PC. Like you were actually considering keeping that. So what made you, so it was the complete set of McKinnon draft day marks, what made you decide that to move it?
quitting my job.
Okay.
I can't afford to hold a $5,000 piece.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
And this is no shade to anyone that loves draft day marks. Here's why I think that's a good. They're manufactured patches, and as cool as that is, and it's McKinnon, and it's 11 years old at this point. Over the long run, that's not something I would. Like some good wines are meant to be drank now and not stored for the future. I would. That's not what I would store for the future, but that's just me.
I like the Letterman. They're manufactured, but they're cheap, and the auto's better.
Right.
The Letterman
Well, which
is
is the
better.
one? It's the cup nameplates. Those are the game used ones, right?
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, it
okay.
is. Actually, the card I was more sad to let go was a Nathan McKinnon Future Watch Auto PSA 10. I moved that too. That I kind of wanted to hold, but I got a really good deal. It was a trade in cash, and like
You got to do it. Yeah, I
made
can't get
sense.
sentimental.
No,
Can't do it. No.
exactly.
Is
Flip,
there-
flip.
So now this is the second time McKinnon's come up. Is the market for him heating up a little bit, or
Not as much as you think. Like
Okay.
Kaprizov is on a tear. He went up.
Yeah.
McKinnon, like I don't get it. He probably will jump.
Sure.
But I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, I should have held on. I knew it. But like, if ever I can afford to hold McKinnon, he's the guy I'm gonna hold.
okay?
Who's is anybody asking you all weekend of a player that you might be surprised you didn't think to hear of? Has anyone gotten hot in the last few weeks that maybe Josh and I aren't thinking would be someone prospecting, perhaps?
Not really. A lot of people were asking for Ovies.
Okay. Well, I popped in another 2 yesterday, 2 days ago.
Right, yeah. But people asking for Ovi, Crosby, just the regular, like the usual suspects this time around. Not like last November, I remember it was Patterson.
Really?
Yeah, well, he was on a tear, and then he got hurt or whatever, and for the last year, it's been like way down.
Yeah. I find when a player gets really hot, he comes back to baseline, but below his previous high.
Yeah, the pendulum swung
Yeah.
too far. Isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
that happens a lot.
Where's the Bedard momentum? Is it cooling in your opinion, or is it still strong?
No, I think it's still strong. Like it's, they move pretty quick. They move quite quick, yeah.
How about the hobby in general? I mean, are you comfortable and confident? Because that's a big part of, listen, you quitting your job going into this. If it's empty and nobody wants to do deals, that's something that, the overall demand for sports cards is out of your control.
Right.
Are you also feel confident and comfortable that the hobby's in a good place, and at least in the short term?
So out of the 4 years I've been doing this, this is the most confident I've ever been. I'm not necessarily saying I think all the cards are going to hold their value. Yeah. I'm just saying the interest is at an all-time high. It was very tough for me to balance actually making deals and seeing people that I haven't seen in a long time. That's definitely the thing I enjoyed the most about the Expo. One of the things I enjoyed the most was also my biggest challenge. It was like, so in my, like, I mean, this is kind of on me, but there was one day I was late, but I was rushing putting my cards up. I had like 4 people come chat with me, and I didn't want to say, okay, leave me alone, because I hadn't seen them in a long time, and I wanted to see them. But yeah, to answer your question, I think the interest is at an all-time high, especially for hockey.
So what do the next few months look like for you? What does the end of the year look like? Does it slow down from a show perspective?
So I have a local show I have 2 local shows when I'm back in November and 1 in December. I haven't taken a day off since I quit my job. So December I'm probably gonna rest and digest a little bit. I have some things with my business partner that well, we're not officially business partners yet, but we're working on that. So it's going to be meeting heavy and just figuring things out, fleshing out the details.
So strategery is going to happen?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Are you mad that Phil called you princess to your face?
I can barely hear you guys with this eBay guy going crazy.
He was calling him a princess himself. So, but another thing is, like Phil said, all this ruckus, all this, like you can hear it. People are excited. A lot of kids came to my table. And,
so many kids, man. I've never seen more families at this expo.
Yeah.
The families here are wild.
Yes. Yeah. It used to be like just guys.
Yeah, a bunch of dudes, big sausage fest. No, it's not at all. It's like, it's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
Whose idea was to have clappy hands? Would you like to speak with that
so
person?
I know, listen, it's very frustrating. I'm trying not to reference what's going on around us, because when I watch other people's shows, like, I don't care. Like, be professional. I'm learning how to be professional. I can't handle all this going on right now with the clapping hands and the screaming from the eBay. It's truly out of control, and I'm just smiling like a crazy person. I'm like trying to every third word I can hear.
Well, I'm glad you had a good show.
Thank you.
It's been fun to hang out. Thank you for repping the Gongshow merch.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for the merch.
Love it.
I lost my sweater, Josh. I can't find it.
We can't take Phil anywhere.
Sorry, bedtime. I figured I'd tell you on air so you can't get mad at me.
All right. Well, we'll check back in about a month or so, kind of see how the off season, the down period, and I know you're working on some things, and hopefully have some announcements to make by then.
Absolutely.
Well, okay, Phil, church spell us out.
Boom. Boom.
Thanks,
All right, so then, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Okay, we're back. Thank you to Sylvan for taking time out of his busy schedule at the Spark Card Expo to chat with us for Chapter 7 of Confessions. Now, Phil, this was your first time doing one with your good buddy Sylvan. So how was that experience for you?
I feel it was good. I feel I have I talk to Sylvain every day, so it's not much different for me. I feel I went easy on him because I know he was nervous. I was going to troll him.
You did call him Princess once.
I only called him Princess once, and I tried to power through it, so it wasn't obvious. I think the interview went great. He's such a stud. We love our boy. Watching him in action at the Expo was awesome, and I'm very proud of all his accomplishments, and very excited to see his new ones come. He's actually he just left the house. He left the house about half an hour ago. He's going to see his brother in downtown Ottawa for a gig.
Nice.
Yeah, and he made chili today at my house. It was great. Very delicious. Great cook.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had a great show at the
Very
Expo. Did very well from his car dealer ventures perspective. My big thing now is I wonder, what do you do if you're a guy like him, now that all these big fall shows are over, through the rest of the year to make money? So like that's where my kind of head is turning on the issue of what a car dealer would do. And so that's where I'm excited to check back in a month or so.
Yeah.
And to see, okay, post Expo, How are things going? What have you done to continue to build your business? And so, yeah, like I said, a month or so, we'll check back in and see
I
how
wanna
things are working for them.
I wanted to ask him some questions. I mean, if it's during the season, a guy like him, they should be watching hockey very closely, right? Seeing
Yeah.
almost like a draft coach, not a draft coach. What am I trying to say?
A scout?
The scout. Thank you. Yes, a scout. Like you'd almost want to approach it from a scout mind, Like
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should ask him. He's not here right
Yeah.
now.
Fantasy hockey should be your friend.
He should be the best at fantasy hockey.
He should.
I'd like to see how his team is doing, actually. I know he's got a couple out there. If he's doing pretty poorly, maybe I should get someone else on my cards.
Well, you'll get a chance to ask him that very soon, Phil. Don't worry
Okay.
about that. Okay, got to make a mention for Gongshow partner and sponsor Slab Sharks. Of course, we're thankful for their continued support of our show. The current Slab Sharks weekly eBay auction ends tonight. Be sure to log on to slabsharks.com for a chance to bid on the over 1,900 cards available this week. Some very, very nice cards, too. I don't know if you guys have looked at the auction, but do yourself a hobby favor and check this one out. And if you happen to be a Canadian Hockey Cards collector and you didn't already drop off all your cards with Slab Sharks last week at the Expo, we'd strongly recommend considering Slab Sharks for their eBay consignment services. They make it easy to sell your cards online because, well, they do all the work. They take the professional photos of your cards, they list them for you, answer buyer questions, hunt down payment for winners, ship to both the US and Canada. And then most importantly, they handle any post-sale issues, which nobody wants to do or take care of. Plus, your cards are included in their hugely and wonderfully weekly auctions that attract tons of hobby eyeballs. So for complete consignment info, including payout rates, and to start the process today, head to slabsharks.com.
Hey, let me tell you one thing before you do that. Back up. That booth was jamming
Oh, yeah.
for 4 solid days from start to finish.
What booth?
Slab Sharks.
Oh, right. Yes. Yes.
The submissions coming in there was
Yeah.
unbelievable. But
I can't wait to see how big next week's auction is going to be. I mean, they had almost 2,000 cards the week of the Expo. Where
Yeah, it's crazy.
they were all at the Expo. So yeah, I don't know. You think it's 4,000 or 5,000 next week? I don't know, but it'll be big.
How many do you think they can jam in there? Holy cow!
That's
Yeah.
what.
But,
Okay.
we want to make it off.
PG-13.
Okay, family show. Hobby news.
Hobby news.
News from the hobby. It's midweek.
Okay. Well, got to talk about this.
Here we go
The-
again.
Do you guys remember when the 1979 O-Pee-Chee seal case, believed to be the only one in existence, sold for $3.72 million back in February? Remember that?
Yes.
Sure do.
Okay. Remember when the guy that purchased the case back in February, I guess, had second thoughts or buyer's remorse and never ended up
No.
completely paying for the case? Well, it looks like that payment never really came through. A lot of people, it's funny, in recent weeks have been asking us, well, what happened to this? What happened to this? Well, apparently it's back up on Heritage for sale. And in reading an article on, it seems like that over the last few months, Heritage has been shopping this box to anyone and everyone that would be willing to pay, I guess, that hammer price, from Wayne Gretzky's family to monster
on.
collectors in the hobby,
It's desperation.
and anyone to Drake, Bieber, right? I mean, they reached out to anyone and nobody was a taker at that price. So now it is back up on auction on the Heritage website. The current bid with buyer's premium stands at $975,000. The auction runs through Thursday, December 5th. So if you guys had to bet the over-under for the sales price, for it reaching the sales price that it got to in February, $3.72 million, are you going over or under, Phil? Well, what do you think?
Way under. Way under. Yeah.
Really? Okay, Louis, what do you think?
Absolutely under. And I'm in the maybe it hits 2 at the most.
Maybe.
You
I'd
think
say
so?
$1.5 million. Like if I had $10 million in the bank, I'd pay $2 million for this. I mean, that'd be a really bad decision to put 20% of my net worth in hockey cards. But think of how much fun it would be. That'd be amazing. I'm not looking for a return on this. I would just want to open the packs.
You would?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
fun.
you would get creamed.
Josh, I'm a millionaire. Okay, F you money.
Not
like,
anymore.
Like $100 million. I would pay $2 million easy for this. I'd pay the hammer price if I had $100 million in the bank. You wouldn't want to come over?
I would. The only reason to buy this, though, as an investment is it's not really fun to own. I think that's the problem with it. Like, you'd have to stick it in a vault somewhere because it's just a cardboard box. The second you unseal it, it loses half of its value. And the thing that I think I would have never understood 2 years ago, and maybe newer collectors don't get about these boxes, is the reason why there's only 2 PSA 10 tops and O-Pee-Chee Gretzky rookies is these cards had so many condition issues out of the pack. And it's because I think a lot of people assume that, oh my gosh, there's like PSA 10 Gretzky's in there. There's almost no chance that there is.
I don't
None.
think people think that.
Oh, I
Do
think
they?
people do. 100%, Phil.
Like, pack fresh, it's a 10.
Yeah, like,
No.
I've talked to Jeremy, and he said it would be a miracle if there's an 8.
I bet you there's an 8 in there, maybe, but I would never, like, a 9. Probably PSA is not giving any Gretzky a 9 anytime soon. I know they gave one the last year or the year before, but
yeah,
I mean, there's how many 9s are out there that are better than the 10s, especially on the O-Pee-Chee side? We all know it, you know.
Well, there's centering issues. There's tons of registration issues.
The 110 up there is that should be an 8. Like, I mean, we all know that.
Remember, these were cut with really dull blades. That's why they have the O-Pee-Chee rough cut, and so
that'd be awesome. I would love that.
I mean, it would be amazing to open, but
yeah,
the whole point is you would have to get at least one PSA 10 in order to get value opening it, and that's
not
very, very unlikely that would ever happen. And so you can't open it if you're going to buy it from an investment. So you're just buying like whatever it ends up being, whether a $2 million or $3 million cardboard box, and it's just not very fun to own.
I want someone loaded to buy this to enjoy
and
open
have
fun and open it. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Open it. Hey, listen, if anyone's listening that has the money, buy it and we'll let you open it on our channel.
I would.
Yeah.
That's a lot
For
of
a
money
fee.
for paperweights.
I
For a
think
fee, Phil.
just fun, man. I just want to smell the cards. It'd be nice to see one box is like perfectly cut. Oh, it's the same case. So if one is rough cut, they're all rough cut, vice versa, right?
So what, you open it and you're like,
I'd put it right up the honker. Oh yeah, that's a Gordie Howe Hartford. There we go.
okay, last thing on this though. You don't think it would be, it's believed to be the only sealed case, but so if it's open, there's none left. You don't think it would be sad to have no sealed cases left of 1979 O-Pee-Chee?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's meant to be opened. Cars are meant to be driven, not parked.
Okay. Now in hobby news, we have a Phil news roundup. I'm very excited for.
I think it's important, like the little nuances. I hate that word. I hate new buzzwords, but it applies here. The new nuances in the hobby. So I'll just rifle some off here. I think it's important. I care about the hobby, and they're just little quick hitters. So PSA has a new autograph service. I think this is excellent. PSA is introducing a service for witnessed autographs. That is awesome. Very similar to CGC's signature series. The expansion into the autograph space would be successful depending on which athletes and celebrities they would sign with, I would think. They're launching the autograph service where they'll oversee and authenticate the signing of cards and other items directly from athletes and celebrities and pop culture figures. This means they will not only authenticate the signature afterward, which they already do, and the good listener knows my opinions on that. This is the awesome one. They will actually witness the signing process itself, ensuring its authenticity. So we know, good listener and hobby, Phil has strong opinions on that, but this is a step in the right direction. This is a step in a great direction. So it's a step toward increasing trust as well. I think it's a significant move for PSA because it allows them to further guarantee the legitimacy of autographs. So I think it brings a lot more accountability to the memorabilia market and the hockey card market, which is, I guess, would a hockey card be hockey memorabilia?
Sure. I mean, it's probably in the general class.
So you know what I mean. Yeah.
Is this like at a card show? Like you can bring, like when an athlete signs that they'll be there too and authenticated, or will they just be doing this on their own and selling it then somewhere?
That's a good question, Josh. I don't have the answer. I don't know.
Okay.
I just found the information yesterday released. It was a quick summary. I believe I don't know if you'd call it a press conference, or PSA has a thing every Tuesday, but it's like a couple hours long. I did not watch it. I watched the summary notes. So yeah, I'm just trying to summarize. I'll get back to our episode on Monday. I'll give more information. CGC has some layoffs. They're primarily known for comic book creating, but they've recently laid off some staff. They seem to be focused on roles that more span their comic and card business. I think that's reflecting a shift in priorities. Since they've expanded into sports cards, I don't think it's really worked well for them, which is a bit of a shame because they really have nice slabs. They have a bit of a blue tint on them, my opinion, but I think their slabs are very nice. I think they tried to really try in the sports card market. It just didn't work. They seem to be the primary leader for comic books, so only natural for them to focus on that. So
where did you see the layoffs? I didn't see that.
On CGC?
Yeah.
I could send you the bookmark.
Okay.
Yeah, like I sure, yeah, like I'll outline this a bit more. So Fanatics, some updates of Fanatics. The Orlando show is canceled. I don't know if anyone was planning on going there that listens to our show, maybe 3 people. California Dave would be one of them. But it seems like Fanatics is calibrating its approach here. I think it's a great move personally. They just had their big Fanatics event with a sample size of what works well and what doesn't. So you want to stay relevant, you got to pivot, you got to change with the landscape. I think it's good that Fanatics is listening and watching and doing as they should. So what else is going to change? It seems like they're moving away from more like traditional card shows, which I think the Orlando was I think the show in Orlando was focusing on. So that's kind of a bummer. But if you look at the flip side, I think for the hobby to get really popular, they need to focus on more events like they just had, like larger scale events with bigger athletes and some cards, So I think Fanatics is also adjusting the timing of their New York Fanatics Fest. It's now expected to be held in late June, as opposed to its traditional August. So that's pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, that's almost 2 months. I think the change is strategically aimed at positioning their event ahead of the national convention, which is typically held in August. So I think a move to June really spreads out the landscape for the hobby. So yeah, I think that's good. So those are my just quick one-hitter few points.
Good job, Phil.
Thanks, buddy.
Learned something. Yeah. Nice. Loved it. Okay, we're going to roll on to the final series of Expo conversations we recorded over the weekend at our Slab Sharks Studio. Again, I guess we're going to start with a conversation we had with one of our partners, Johnny Amendola from Mintink, who was going at least 1,000 miles per hour all weekend. But holy moly, did Mintink have a big presence at the Expo. And then after I chat with Johnny, we're going to roll right into our chance to speak with David Adams, Troy Licastro, our good buddies at the Late Game Movie, and then our first chance to talk to a guy you know pretty well, Phil Grant Patterson from GP Sports. So here we go. We're going to start again with the hobby tour de force and visionary Johnny Amendola from Mintink.
All right, we're live.
Yeah.
Hey, Louis in the
Baba Louis, he's in the producing
I love
band. All right, we're here at the Slab Sharks Studio. We're closing out the Expo with you have to be exhausted, Johnny Amendola from Mintink. You have to be.
I am not going to lie, I'm done. Like, I'm so drained, but you know what? Worth it.
You've been everywhere.
That's,
You've been everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I do, I guess.
It's very, very impressive. Where do we start? Well, we'll start last night, Mintink Train Night. It was popping, dude.
You know what? We're blessed. It was great. We got packed house. We raised a bunch of money for mental health, and we had some private donations come in, substantial, like another $3,000, which is pretty impressive. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're gonna donate $8,000 to mental health. We have a 5-year commitment for $100K.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. So we can do something that promotes community in the hobby, and we were there. It was awesome.
It was great. Thanks for coming.
We saw a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Had some great conversations, and you do also a good thing for charity as well. That's pretty amazing. So, how has the show overall been for Mintink?
Amazing. I got to do a deal with Phil, maybe 2 deals with Phil. So I mean, I'm gonna make one of his mail. I didn't mail it to him, but
we can pretend.
The show, best ever.
Okay.
Yeah. And not like in lots of boxes. There's lots of boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. It's been a great event for us.
2 months from now, when the dust is settled, what are a couple things that you're going to remember most about this weekend, do you think?
Well, listen, so just another really successful event. I love the networking is big for me. I come from a world where that's a big thing. So, Jeremy's event is great. Your RIP party on Friday was epic. The trade night on Saturday. And then today, I get a chance to kind of get around, walk, and talk to people because it's just nonstop. So I think like the camaraderie is what is it, is it the most for me? I'm not on the floor selling and buying. That's, a lot of my guys are doing that. So I kind of just try to sit back and watch it all. But I remember just how much the hobby has grown.
Those boys of yours work really hard. When I see you running around being the glue.
Thank you.
The glue of the expo, the mayor of the expo, maybe. Your boys. I'm watching like a hawk. Johnny slips me a 20, of course. And they're working hard. And they're very personable. They're very.
I'm blessed with, they say it takes a village. So, and I'm not an easy guy to work for. So,
no.
The fun guy you see on camera isn't necessarily the same guy that's in the office staring at 327-inch screens all day. But I love it, the passion, and I try to surround myself with the people that really, not only just buy into the vision, but they gotta believe it. It's a big difference. There's a big difference.
And they vibe it out, man. Just walking by your booth, and hey, you gotta crack some eggs if you want to make an omelet.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, so I think that in the hobby, entrepreneurism is, it's a big thing, right?
Absolutely.
Even on a very small level, whether you're buying and selling cards to maybe bolster up your PC. And so I like to have these entrepreneurial conversations. And so what I'm curious about is, when you look at a show like this, how do you measure ROI? Is it just what we spent versus what we sold, or is there a bigger equation that you use to measure success?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, like Phil said, there's a lot of people running around the booth. So, I mean, sales, anybody that tells you that sales isn't the top,
Sure.
But there's so much more than that. For us, the real ROI is we track a lot of data. We hand out a lot of material and different material, like the handout you got at the grading booth versus the handout you got if you bought slabs versus the handout you got at trade night are all different, catering to the specific demographic. So we see tremendous ROI 180 days past the expo.
Oh, that's awesome. Feels good, eh?
Yeah,
right in the feels.
We have, like, you guys came out to the shop last week, so we have, if I could explain to you, Phil understands the Toronto area, but for the listeners that don't know the greater Toronto area, the Golden Horseshoe, if you look under this map, it's really a horseshoe, and we're right in the middle. So 6 million people can drive to us within an hour. So
wow,
it's crazy,
a lot of people that'll say, we built this great big 3,000 square foot facility. It's worth the drive for them. I have some friends that come down, from Sudbury at least once a month. That's a 3-hour drive.
Once a month.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
that's commitment, baby.
Yeah, it'd be like if you popped out for a Saturday every month, and who knows, maybe you'll start coming.
So, not to interrupt you, but to interrupt you, I've traveled to Grant GP Sports twice to just get a deal, and I go right back.
Yeah, so Grant's 10 minutes from us.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
When we got to go to your shop on Wednesday, and thank you for having us again too, the thing that stood out to me the most is the attention to detail. Like, I felt like I could see that you didn't spare an expense, you didn't cut a corner. That's making a commitment, right? And that's really believing and investing in the future. But I left with the impression that, that you're part of what you're trying to do is sort of be a driving force for what the new sort of experience that a sports card shop should be.
Yep, and you're bang on. We really preach the ultimate customer experience, the ultimate hobby experience. I think consumers really, convenience, value, ease is important, and giving them a fun, big, bright, open space to do that in. It's very welcoming. For us, the community aspect of it is the most important. So I built a place that I thought would allow for the most fun.
Yeah.
I guess I can't say funnest part of the journey, if that makes sense.
You can say
it. It's a big experience for us. And my philosophy is also like the the synergistic approach that we should take in the hobby, because the busier this store and that store and my store and your store are, the busier the hobby is, the more
High tide raises all ships, right?
Exactly. So as much as we cater globally and internationally and to our local community, for me, it's just the more of that message we can put out into the universe, and hopefully, it's, and if we can inspire anybody, that's great too.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I just stay in my lane, and we just, Mintink is just all about the ultimate experience. And the healthier everybody else is, I want every vendor in this place to tell me they had their best show ever.
Yeah.
Josh, we know that when you know this just as well as I do, when we went to visit Johnny at his storefront on Wednesday, we were busy. We were talking business. Things were good. Every customer that came in, Johnny, you're like, what's that, guys? Got up, dealt with it.
He knows where his bread is buttered.
You have that old school brick and mortar feel to it too, and you're also on the back end going corporate, big.
Yeah,
and you worry about everybody in the middle. That's how you know. That's how I felt safe in your shop.
I appreciate that. I think that making myself available, it's going to be taxing for sure, but it goes a long way. Yeah, and the staff have that saying. For me, I'm happiest when the odd time I'll pick up a call and they'll be like, "Hi, can I speak with Adam?" or "Hi, can I speak with Chad?" It's like when they're not asking for just Johnny all the time. So I try to instill that into the troops, so to speak.
Empower your army.
I do not. It's level 5. It's not about Johnny. It's about Mintink. Jim Collins, level 5 is it's a business acronym for. The brand is paramount. It's not about me. It's about what's in the best interest of Mintink and the employees and the customers and everybody else.
The brand is bigger than the individual.
So I want to hire the best people for the job and just say, here are the tools for success. And I also want to learn, because I don't know everything. So I try my best to do that, like you said. And it's, for guys like us, it is I guess, old school way of doing things. And maybe that's why one of the reasons for the key factor of the success, I don't know.
Well, you just have a drive and passion, and you want it, and you're willing to work for it, and you're willing to risk and invest and sacrifice, and more often than not, good things happen when you add those ingredients into the recipe. So you've been working the crowd, you've been everywhere, anywhere and everywhere all week, and but has Johnny the collector had any chances? Have you bought anything for you?
I just spent some time rolling around. I found one Hulk Hogan auto I scooped. I love to collect Hulk Hogan.
Did you buy it, brother?
Yeah, I bought it, brother.
All right.
And just one box. I unfortunately didn't get as much time as I wanted this time around, but I love to buy stuff. I collect not just cards. I'm a big toy junkie.
Yeah.
I collect Transformers, G.I. Joes. Like, I got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Do you leave a show like this and a weekend like we've had with greater confidence in the health and vitality and future of collecting in the hobby?
Absolutely. That is like I hate to say the hobby is alive, but to coin that phrase for Mr. Blesnick. But yeah, the hobby is most certainly alive. I am more confident after this weekend with the level of investment we have into the space, and the level of investment that we're still, we're just getting started.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
I'm excited. Yeah, we're just getting started.
There's a feeling and an odd, like COVID brought us down. We're all collecting and we did take the market took a bit of a lull. This expo has never felt more vibrant, more alive, like it's giving birth to something.
Yeah, it's a really, it's a really healthy market when product is affordable and the kids are out, and there's more women here than I've ever seen before.
Everybody's made that comment.
The families. I said to somebody earlier, when I hear the kids or a baby crying in my store, for me, I'm like, okay,
it's horrible.
We're winning.
Oh, okay, right.
Of course.
We're winning. Yeah, sorry, you're the best. We're
Baby's
winning.
crying.
As opposed to like the loud guy that just comes there and looking for
He's not allowed around babies, but we can't get into that for personal reasons.
Sorry, how many provinces again?
What are things? And I'm not talking Mintink. I'm just talking about the hobby as a whole. What are opportunities for growth that you see in the hobby? Like where, if it's going to continue to get bigger, continue to get stronger, what does that look like in your mind?
This live events, live experience. That is a huge part of
They
what,
put juice
what
in
we
your
do.
batteries as a collector.
Yeah, like it gives so much validity. So we host these trade nights, and 100 people will come, and new people will come, and mom will say to me, "My kid, he's 16 years old, and he's so shy, and he came to your event." And the pandemic messed a lot of us up in the sense of it was very confusing, and we had to relearn behaviors and patterns. And what we did learn was also how much more important a smaller circle is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what happens is now you're out and you're with like-minded people. So you realize, everybody gets along. I tell people there's hundreds of millions of dollars worth of product and cash in this place, and everybody feels safe. It's because it's a bunch of like-minded, people. So the community is so vibrant and so strong. So we need more trade nights. We need more philanthropic causes. We need more events like this, more regional shows, more national shows. And I think the people will just keep coming. If you build it, they will come. I mean, it's the proof.
Well, I think to speak to your point, all of my hobby friends, Phil, Baba Louie included, everybody that stayed with us at the Chateau, I've met at this show.
Yeah.
And it's created, and it's enhanced my hobby experience, where I can come here, not buy a card, and have the best time. It's like the cards are like the icing on the cake.
I'm telling you, like I am going home tonight, and I am gonna hammer Slab Sharks because I want to buy something, and I didn't get to buy anything. I just walked by, I'm going shopping on eBay.
It's a big auction this week, Johnny. I already checked it out. Yeah, big auction.
I've already got a bunch of bids in. I owe some money from last week. You're right.
It's just like, how could we
The camaraderie
create,
is there.
but not just twice a year, but create on even a smaller scale, and build that community and friendships
we support
around
a whole bunch of local, whether it's 20 booths in a Legion or 100 booths at a community center. Part of my mandate, Mintink's fiduciary duty, in my opinion, to the Canadian hobby community, is to pump as much of the local community as possible.
Love it.
So we went out to Vancouver first time. We're going to do Steve Menzies' show in Quebec next. I think we'll do Edmonton next year. If there's a show in Ottawa, let me know.
Our show in Ottawa in 3 years has grown from 20 to 25 tables to about 300.
Yeah, I love it. And
it's incredible.
And I don't even go to these markets. Like, for me, it's not, I don't want to bring a whole bunch of suitcases and compete with the next guy that's in Ottawa.
Yeah.
I just want to go bring whatever Mintink has to offer, that experience, maybe we do a grading special because we have all these great partnerships, and we set a live up, and I'm just about the more, fuel we can throw into the fire, and whoever, again, people will say, "Oh, you're helping somebody else." No, the more we all win, the more we all win. Like,
and
it's
modernizing something that's been a bit stale for a few years is a good thing.
I agree. Okay, nobody liked Uber when it started, or Netflix, but
no one takes a cab anymore.
Yeah, listen, I mean, not everybody likes what we do. For the most part, they do, and being a disruptor is something I'm okay with.
I like it.
Awesome. Well, get some rest. I hope you're going to take a couple days off, I hope.
I'm going to take a bath when I get home.
We say
a little
can't
bath.
stop,
That's
won't
good.
stop.
No, but I'm going to Jamaica next week. So
good for you.
Montego Bay?
Yeah, just close to the airport, Friday to Tuesday. So I'm going to the Hockey Hall of Fame dinner tomorrow, and then back to work this week. But when I get to Jamaica, 5 days, I'm turning the phone off. I'm not talking to anybody.
Can we lay a bet on that? I'll take the over on that one. I'm turning the phone off.
Everybody says that about me because they see, like, you wouldn't believe me. As soon as I leave, I get on a plane, that's the only way. So people will tell me, I'm sorry if I'm rambling. My mom will be like,
no.
You work. I'm a 45-year-old man, and my mom's still good Italian mom. You work too hard. I'm like, Mom, I'm not working. I love it. Yeah. But when I travel, her and my wife will validate. Freddie, my partner. Nobody believes me. I will 1,000% shut it off.
Awesome.
Or else I can't keep going.
You have to reset. You have to reset.
I don't do it as often as I should, but I do it.
About 4 years ago, when we live in the Twin Cities, have a cabin about 4 hours north of us, I made the family, just as an experiment, when we pulled up to the cabin, I said, everybody throw their phones in the glove box, and I locked it. And for the first 12 hours, you would have thought my kids were going to die, right? Like, they were. But you know what? After a day or two, It's like they completely readjusted and they were outside more and
Do you
they were
remember,
running around
we're
the
all
woods.
Older, so older. I say that.
Pager? You gonna talk about Pager?
No, but BlackBerry, remember when your hip
Oh, yeah.
used to
Oh,
vibrate?
the rims.
Yeah.
But your hip would vibrate even when it wasn't in the holster anymore.
Phantom vibrations,
Yeah,
phantom
there was a whole
vibrations.
thing about that. So
Wild, man.
But yeah,
Wild.
this was great. Thanks for having me on the show. I can't wait to get you guys back here, and I gotta get out to Minnesota.
Of course, you have to. And thank you for all your support. We
course.
couldn't do our show if it wasn't for people like Mintink, and we're very proud to be an ambassador of your
Awesome.
brand
I'm proud
and
to be a
everything you're
sponsor.
doing. And thanks so much.
A pleasure. A pleasure.
Bye,
You guys
Johnny.
are great. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Johnny.
And Bob Louie in the back does a great job. Just throwing that in there.
We're back, Slab Sharks Studio, live from the Sport Card Expo with the one, the only, casual Troy Licastro.
Hello, ladies and
from,
gentlemen.
How do I describe you? Like David Adams? What do you do
Yeah.
everything there, right?
David Adams, janitor,
Good.
breaker,
Staff accountant?
staff accountant. No, they don't put me near the money.
Oh, okay.
They know better than to do that. Part-time. I'm the guy who I'm like mall security, right? I call the actual
There you go.
cops. Yeah, I call the actual cops. I can't do it.
Okay, so Phil, last time I saw Troy was in Cleveland. You go to the National, and I'm a hockey card guy, and I'm expecting like nothing. I'm already half depressed walking in because I'm like, it's the
Because
it's the
it's
United
Cleveland,
States.
or-
No, because there's never hockey.
Home of the Indians.
There's never hockey. And start walking around, I see Troy at the David Adams booth all day broke hockey at the National, which was amazing.
And you know what? I will say thank you to David Yarger, one of the guys I work with.
Yeah,
I think he specifically tailored that day to me.
nice.
So he gave me a present. Yeah. So we were ripping. Oh my God, we were ripping Flagship.
Oh yeah.
Which we did like 3 cases of that. That took me hours.
How long? The Nationals 3 days?
Nationals to what?
Same like this. Like I think
Yeah.
like Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah. So we pretty much we had 2 breaking setups.
Okay.
Every day of the National. But yes, the day Josh walked by, it just so happened it was hockey day that day.
So it was like head is down, he's scuffing his feet, and you're like, I'm gonna pick this guy up right
yeah,
here.
yeah. Hey, turn that frown.
And it was awesome too. You had a crowd a lot of the
Yeah,
time, so
which
people were
is
into it, which
so
I
cool.
thought was very heartwarming from that regard. Okay, so now the next thing you got to talk about, because I saw you yesterday. Tell us about your day today, because it's sounds pretty fun.
Oh, it's a blast. So I will admit that this is my first show on my own. Because usually I do. I come up with David Adams.
Yeah.
We have a content plan and we're executing it, and it's da-da-da.
Yeah.
This was the first time that I decided, okay, we're not going to send content, so I'd still like to go myself and do content in that. And brother, yesterday I'm thinking, oh, it's a full day. They go, oh no, it's only preview night 4 to 8.
Yeah.
So I go, what am I doing?
Yeah.
But today has been fantastic already. I bought a couple cheapies that I shared with Josh
Yeah.
before we went on. But we're doing this. I'm doing the podcast. I'm putting together a little,
Yeah.
day. But the biggest part is I got to go home. I can't stay. Why? I got to go to WWE SmackDown tonight in Buffalo.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he's going back to Buffalo to go to
Here
SmackDown.
tomorrow. Oh, Saturday's chaos.
No, I'm coming. Oh, are you kidding me? If I am...
Wait a minute. So you're going to Buffalo and coming back?
I
Yeah.
have that kind of dedication to this show.
You're amazing.
I am dedicated to this show. This is the national of
Oh yeah.
the North. This is
Oh yeah.
Man, North remembers.
So yeah, it's such an easy drive that I don't mind, going home and.
How far is it?
Man, I love the dedication.
Oh, dude, an hour and a half. That is nothing.
Oh, it's only an hour and a half.
Yeah. So depending on border traffic.
Yeah.
Oh,
we
okay.
have 3 points of entry right there in like Western New York area.
Gotcha.
We got Niagara Falls and then a couple others that
Never
you can
been,
get up
I
there.
don't know.
Yeah. You gotta come down. Are you on the west side? Are you on West Coast?
I'm in Ottawa. I'm from
Oh,
Ottawa.
you're not.
Yeah.
You gotta come down for a game. Come see
No, I'd love
Sens
to.
and Sabres.
I know, man, I know. Well, we just played you guys. It didn't go well for us, but anywho.
I was in the building that
Oh,
night.
no
so,
kidding.
yeah.
We were that bad, hey? Yeah, it was
Yeah,
pretty
I
bad.
had a blast.
I thought
That
these
makes
Ottawa
one of
guys
us.
were professional, but anyway, I know.
So you've been breaking a lot, not just at the National, but for David Adams. Now, what app do you guys break on?
So we are on Twitch and Fanatics Live right now in the homeland, aka
Yeah, in the
America.
US.
But we do have our store in the Netherlands. We have a store.
I never knew that.
What's that?
I never knew you had a store in the Netherlands.
Almost I think we're almost 2 years in.
Like Europe, Netherlands?
Yeah. so
Why the
this
Netherlands?
Little town called.
Okay.
Glad you asked.
Okay.
Little town called Roermond, but where it is in the Netherlands, we're close to Germany, we're close to Belgium, and we're close to France.
Strategery, fella.
Strategery.
We got to start maybe having some strategery around here.
Up a brick and mortar store in Windsor
Windsor?
on the border.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I'll do the Canadian side. Troy can do the American side.
I was thinking the South Pole.
Done.
Done.
All right.
Although Detroit,
We'll do a split pack. To
So
save
have you
some
got to
cents.
go to David Adams, Netherlands?
not yet.
Oh, how do you get that trip?
I don't know. What I did, I saw Adam a couple weeks ago, right? And
Yeah.
He was talking about
Yeah.
what's going on in Europe, and I just go, I dropped the subtle. Oh, I haven't been there yet.
So,
So I planted the seed.
Okay.
I planted the seed.
have you got any insight from him? Like, is the hobby growing over there? Or like, how anything about hockey in particular?
Well, they love their
Sure.
soccer.
Oh, soccer.
Love their soccer.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a little bit of basketball too, but even like just doing interviews on the Chase too.
Yeah.
I've talked to some folks over there, and it's definitely behind in
Yeah.
terms of development. But I know like the London Card Show is very successful. I
Okay.
think there's a really successful one in Italy. So I think it's finally getting to where we may have been like a year or two ago.
Gotcha.
I think it's finally getting there.
It's got to be some baby steps, organic growth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think it's just, obviously social media and exposure and internet helps.
Yeah.
They can see that kind of thing.
Do you break all sports then for Dave and Adam, or because
Yeah.
I've seen you break baseball and
Yeah.
But how much hockey do you do?
So, we started as pretty much just, we'll break anything.
Sure.
You want it, we'll break it. Doesn't
Sure.
matter. But
1990 Pro Set.
are you reading my mind?
I'm reading his mind.
I'm a big pro set guy.
Are you a big pro set guy?
Series 1, 1990.
We had a gentleman, I think it was, that came into the room and was like, we do these things. We're like, retro Thursdays. Let's break some more
fun,
stuff,
yeah.
right?
Throwback Thursday.
Because you guys can just go. You guys can just go into the warehouse and grab anything.
I am very fortunate that I have that
Yeah.
resource that I
Yeah.
can literally walk.
Do you have the key?
Well, luckily it's unlocked during the day because we got
Okay.
everybody.
Maybe edit that out.
Yeah, right. But some guy wanted a box of
You know where we
91.
are, right?
Yeah,
Don't want anyone listening.
91.
Get that guy
91 Pro Line football.
Okay.
So when they had the Pro Line jackets in there, right?
Yeah. Is
Like
that where they
starter
had like the Belichick rookie? Is it the coaches?
Yes.
Is
Like
it,
one of
that's the
those.
big chase, right?
Yeah, and then they do like the end. So this real quick, they do the NFL wives in that
Yeah.
set, right?
Yeah.
So up comes a card that says Felicia Rashad. I go, that's Claire Huxtable from the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
They're like, you didn't know she was married to
Ahmad
Ahmad
Rashad. Yeah.
I go, I didn't even know he was a football player.
Oh, he was a big
always-
one.
He was always NBA inside stuff.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. You had the really like soft kind of voice
These
and
people are not like so. You're Dave and Adams. That's
just nod
that's
and
very,
smile.
Very American.
Incredibly American.
So I don't know anything about Dave and Adams, and it's a very American thing.
Okay.
So you have a big warehouse. You sell lots of do you guys sell a lot?
Well,
of
you guys
wax?
are the largest card seller in the world, right?
Yeah, so basically we've been around since '91, but right over the border in Buffalo.
Okay.
So it's locally owned.
I know the
locally
name, the
operated.
branding,
Yeah.
executed perfectly.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Like, so is it a big brick and mortar store?
So basically, what we have is we have the warehouse.
Okay.
And that's housing everything.
Yeah.
And then obviously part of the warehouse is the corporate office.
Okay.
But we do have a 40,000 square foot brick and
Wow.
mortar store. Yeah.
That's
it was like an old department store that we took over.
So if your warehouse is that big, you're doing more online.
No, that's a
stuff.
retail store. 40,000 square feet.
40,000 square feet is the retail store.
Like, how many centimeters is that? Like, how do you guys do square feet in?
No, we do. Canada's weird. We do so. I'm 4. I'm sorry, 4. I'm 5'10", 5'9".
Yeah.
We don't use centimeters.
You're
but we
4'10".
should.
You kind of are.
We should. So it's kind of like the empirical and metric all in one. Imperial and metric.
Imperial.
all in one. Imperial.
Yeah.
So David Adams would it be a household name in most of the American homes?
Well, Phil, the largest card seller in the world.
Okay.
Nobody
Well,
sells more cards.
I don't think I know a lot of Canadians know of it, but I don't think you don't.
Is
have
this
a
like the
presence up
TV
here.
thing again? Like, Phil's never heard of TV.
I'm confident in this one.
Okay, you're
I'm
confident.
confident in this one.
This is how I always describe it to people because it's funny to me. when I'm at home and you're in just like the local Buffalo, Niagara Falls area, there's times where I'll get, oh yeah, you work at Dave & Buster's. I'm like, nope. I'm like,
Love
that's not it. But then, so although it is a name in the community, there's still some people that don't fully understand what they do.
Okay.
But when we go to shows like the National in Toronto,
Sure.
and somebody's like, oh, you work for David Adams? They're like, oh my God, you're David Adams? And I'm
Okay.
like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. So it's recognized worldwide because, like he said,
Yeah.
we are the
Yeah.
largest global retailer of like.
There's
wax.
3 big card names, like online retailers in the
Okay.
U.S. It would be David Adams, Steel City, and Blowout are probably the most
So,
Yeah.
recognized names. And
yeah. No, I
Okay.
recognize all 3. So wouldn't it? You're in a great position to really push hockey. If David Adams is such a recognized logo brand, what have you? You're in a great spot, man. To like hockey awareness and everything, like breaking all
it's
day at the national. That's amazing.
It's unbelievable.
It's your
how-
responsibility to grow hockey in America.
I want
That's
to-
what Phil's saying.
That's the thing.
That's
Yes.
basically what I'm saying. Thank you, Josh.
I was gonna say, is that your interpreter?
He makes sense of my nonsense. Yeah.
But that's the thing is, I want to be such an ambassador for
I love
hockey
it, man.
and the hobby over
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
because, like with Fanatics Live, you can go on Whatnot and see hockey breakers.
Yeah.
You can go on your Twitch, whatever your loops, right?
Yeah.
Fanatics Live, I've been told multiple times by people that have just dropped into the chat, we are one of, if not the only hockey breaker on Fanatics Live.
Yeah, not a lot yet. So, what are the products that people are really responding to right now? Like, what's hot?
This is going to be out of left field. It's going to sound
Okay.
crazy, but I will say, what I'm noticing with our community is they actually like to go after the product a couple of years older
Okay.
because of these guys starting
Smart.
to develop.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Smart, yeah.
Because, we have stuff on the website too, like people are running through 22, 23 Upper Deck Series 2.
Really?
Oh.
At those prices?
People love that product.
Is that Wyatt Johnston? Is that the big?
That's Johnston, Slavkovsky.
Yeah.
Who else is in there? There's somebody, Caden Cooley's in there, Holloway.
Sure.
It's actually like, when
Is
you
there
look
a
at
sale
it,
one or no? It just
Gunther,
oh, good call.
which
good call.
we did have it on sale.
Yeah.
But even now, going back after the sale price, people are still into
Wow,
it. They're
it's
still-
loaded. I mean, it's developing to be a
Well,
pretty
that's the
loaded
advantage you have
class.
too, because if like a small time breaker, you kind of just go through the machine of new releases,
Exactly.
right? And so but where you guys have access to all these old products, it gives you the ability to really curate kind of really fun and specific breaks. Okay, of the new stuff though, like let's say the last 6 months, what's been your personal favorite new product in the last 6 months?
That's a great question. I am, and probably always will be, for nostalgia purposes, a sucker for Metal Universe.
Oh, I love it.
Really? What do you
Did
think
you-
of the new set? Sorry, Josh. What do you think of the new set?
I liked the introduction of some more short prints. Like I thought
Yep.
the Noise Boys edition was
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Do you know about those?
What? In terms of what?
Because you're going to
Well,
learn
okay.
it right now.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you.
let
So
me teach you something. Let me learn
the
you
big thing with
something.
Metal Universe is this was the return of Gene McLeod from Marina Design. Gene is the one that created in the 90s the PMGs, the Noise Boy. She's the one that quote unquote invented all these
Okay,
cards.
I think I did. Okay.
Okay, so here's the thing about Noise Boys. When they made that in basketball, the card is actually pliable. You can bend it in half and it springs back up. And then when Upper Deck made Noise Boys like in the mid 2000s, it was not like that. So when she came back, she's like, no, I want to return it to that original whatever material they used for the card.
Yeah, yeah.
And so like you could get a Bedard Noise Boys and literally bend it in half to touch it. Well, I mean, who would? Because it's a
that's wild.
$1,500 US card,
That's
and
wild.
it'll spring right back. So they're meant to be bent.
Crazy, eh?
It makes
Okay.
you want to try it a little bit.
What? That you do learn something new every day.
Yeah,
that one. Yeah, that one.
I'm a
went
big
over
metal
me.
fan, and so yeah, to have her come back, and I love it. Do you like the Jambalaya design this year?
Love it. Yeah, love it. Yeah, I did. I liked it. I haven't seen one physically yet.
You
Okay.
have it? That's the magic.
Yeah.
That is
That's the magic.
That
man.
is seriously
I don't like the
magic.
card, but
But
it's,
it's the aura
That's
around
the
it, right?
aura
The
around
lore.
it, yeah,
The
yeah.
lore.
Okay.
Do you know though too? Are there platinum portraits? I know that's usually an Easter egg in metal. but I have not seen.
They did it
one.
they did it this year for like the Upper Deck Certified Diamond Dealer packs. So like there's the Bedard,
yep.
and they have different heat colors or parallels of that. So I want to see if you, like Phil and I, we bro out on Allure. Were you a big fan of Allure this year?
Allure, I think, is very underrated.
Yeah,
in my
good
opinion.
call. It could be the new O-Pee-Chee Platinum, bro.
Incredibly affordable too.
Yeah, it's fun.
So like what? And it's a fun rip, and at least you're guaranteed. You're guaranteed something.
Yeah.
Yellow Taxi, Glitter Bomb. Come on, it's best
Glitter
card of
Bomb,
the year.
I
Glitter
love
Bomb.
the
is
Gold
the card
Glitter
of the
Bomb.
year. Card of the
I
year.
love Gold Glitter
Out of
Bombs.
$199, so it's not super like unaffordable, but it's rare enough where you don't have to worry about like a million of them being out there.
Yeah, it's definitely like on that line. It toes that line for sure.
What's the biggest card you've ever pulled in a break for somebody else?
God. Just in any sport?
Yeah, anything.
I use this one because it was circumstantial in terms of somebody bought a flawless case of football. I was like, okay. I know this is Hockey Card Gongshow.
Yeah.
But it was literally a week before the Super Bowl this past year. And it was a Brock Purdy 101. It was the Diamond Auto.
Wow.
And it couldn't have been better timing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they decided to hang on to it.
Did you hold it?
They hung on to it. The person I broke, I opened.
sorry. Okay.
No, but the person I opened.
Okay, so what do you think it could have sold for at that time versus what is it worth now?
Had to have been like 30, 40.
Oh.
Probably at the time. Now, maybe like 15 still, 10, 15.
Oh, you think it still get that?
We preach all the time to people. 3 words: take the win.
Yeah.
So many people
100%.
always take the win, because there's some cards that this doesn't work, but I think 85% of the time, especially on a new release, you can hit a big card, you can sell it, and buy it back 6 months from now for half of what you sold it for. Because that's just the way it
Play
works,
the game.
right?
Play the game.
That's just the way that the system and cycle always.
The machine, man, just churning.
Absolutely,
Oh,
yeah.
the wheels always spinning, right? Yeah, I don't blame you.
Did you rip a lot of the cup for you guys?
We did. Actually,
Oh,
we
that's
ripped,
awesome.
We ripped
What's
a
it
ton.
like ripping all that? Man, that's just got to be so fun.
It's it's funny thing is too is like I don't. Obviously, I like to be a degenerate like everybody else, and I like to rip every once in a while and scratch the itch, right? But I think genuinely I have more fun breaking and just getting bigger hits for other people.
It's like giving Christmas presents.
It really is.
There's something to be said about that, right?
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
awesome,
100%.
man.
Yeah, you get to play Santa Claus.
Yeah, man, exactly.
Every
That's
day.
what it is. You play Santa, yeah.
And you do. You see some of the coolest cards, and it's cool because we have multiple rooms breaking all day.
Yeah.
And that's
every
at this
day.
warehouse place?
Yeah, and this is our warehouse. Yeah. So it's cool too because you'll hear the guys in the other room like, "Oh my god!" So it's always cool to go in there, see what they pulled, and it's like it's friendly competition. We're like, oh, you try to pull the best card, you try to pull the best card.
You guys should have like a mini documentary about like the ins like a regular Tuesday at Dave and Adams,
See, I
That'd be
agree.
cool.
I think we're trying to grow our YouTube page.
Yeah.
And we're trying to think of different,
Awesome.
innovative stuff
I think
that
that's
we
a
can
great
do.
idea.
So obviously behind the scenes has definitely been on the suggestion board. So
Is like Burbank a competitor?
no,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Because I see, like, I know that one. That's a big story
Right.
in Los Angeles.
yeah, in that area. Yeah.
I feel like we're like explaining Amazon to you, like you've never heard of it or something.
Listen,
like,
I'm telling the Canadian listeners right now are not Dave and Adams experience.
really?
I don't know. I've been wrong lots before. I hope I'm not wrong on this one. I don't think so. I don't know. I've never even been to your website, dude.
So if you don't mind, I'm gonna ask questions. So for
we can
you,
edit the boring stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Welcome
you,
to the
though,
Troy Licastro show
Yes,
with
thank you. Welcome to the Chase Gong Show.
Chase Gongshow. There we go.
Slap it
All
together.
right.
She works
All right.
So for you, like hearing David Adams and kind of learning a little bit now, do you have like an equivalent or something you can
No.
think of? This side?
No, like our brick and mortar shops are what you think if you close your eyes. Like, well, I mean, not you, but like a little mom and pop.
Yeah.
Like in Toronto, there's probably 85 stores that are 400 square feet.
Well, like you guys are way over 100 employees, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, what are they doing? What are you doing all day
Dude,
with 100 employees?
they are the largest seller of cards in the world.
So someone's always buying a box of
Yes.
cards. Someone's
Well,
always buying a card.
we got
That's
shippers.
insane, man. Who's doing that?
We got shippers. We got people pulling the orders. We got our sales team.
Yeah.
We got product management. We've got the content
You sell
team.
singles too?
Well, and it's a big enough. They have like an accounting department and a marketing department.
You sell singles?
Yeah, mostly we do online a little bit, but
Yeah.
in the brick and mortar is where we have our showcases full of singles that get changed out.
Is that a nice shop? Does it look nice in there?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
We host a lot of events in there too with that space.
I always think comfy cozy is a win.
Yeah.
Comfy cozy. I want like wood paneling halfway up maybe.
I think you would enjoy it. We have like a little card bar where people can come and
We should visit.
sit. Right?
It's only how far is Buffalo from you?
Very close.
Okay. Yeah, we
like,
should.
what, 2 hours?
Come down.
2.5 hours?
Yeah, we'll do. And then they do the hip parade too, right? Are you involved in that at all, or is that a separate thing?
No, so that's like a sister company sort of situation for us.
Under the umbrella.
Yeah. So, but they they do their thing, but their warehouse is probably 10-15 minutes from us.
Interesting.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So they have a warehouse too, obviously an office where that houses all their inventory and all the staff that puts their product together, collates it, and so on.
Okay, so back to the show here. We're at the Sport Card Expo. You're gonna go back. You're gonna have fun with wrestling, and then tonight you're gonna come back tomorrow.
So
and at the end of the expo,
You're an animal.
if you could leave with the perfect card, well, it's reasonable, like fits within your budget. What would that be? Like, what's your what would,
Banks rookie card?
Oh,
I see your sweater.
you say? I was saying, I did grab a Timu today, my perfect card, and this one just popped up top of my head. So I see there's actually guys who have some wrestling here too.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong,
It can be wrestling. It's you.
It could be anything, right?
Yeah.
This is your playground. This is Magic Land. Unicorn.
There is a 2001 Fleer,
Okay.
and it is an on-card Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, is he your guy?
He is my guy. He is number one. He will always be number one to me. He can do no wrong to me. And it's the picture is great. It's him delivering the stuff to somebody.
Do you know why he can't do any wrong, Josh? Because Stone Cold said so.
I don't know wrestling.
Phil gets it.
I don't know wrestling.
But I'm trying to think on the hockey side of it. If I had to pick on the hockey side of things, you know what I do love, and I saw in the Wild one time. It would obviously have to be a player like a Timu. Maybe a Forsberg.
Is
for
Timu
me.
your guy?
Timu's one of my guys. I always loved him.
He with Jeremy Lee. You got to compete with cards for him because Timu's his guy.
Do you have his all-time future watch?
I don't.
Oh, I'm talking a big game because I just bought like a big card yesterday.
Yeah, no big deal.
No big deal. Now it's the Phil show. No try. No kidding.
But I saw in Alexander McGillney one time. I saw a Topps Gold label, the 101.
Wow.
Ooh.
What?
So I saw that in the wild.
Here?
No, in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I saw it in a local
What
shop.
did it go for?
So I would say if Timu is in that set, there's the 101 version gold label, because those gold label I think are just clean. They're beautiful.
Oh yeah, they're
Gorgeous
awesome.
cards,
They're
brother.
awesome.
I can't believe you even said you know what that card is. Your respect just went like way
Thank
up.
you.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that.
You're
I told
welcome.
Phil, I put him over. I was like, I like your content.
Yeah.
He does. I started following him because I saw him out there. And so that's a big compliment for me, Phil.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that.
Okay, what's going on with Buffalo and the Sabres? Like, why can't they get their? It's like you look at the roster, and you're like, this is a good team. You got JJP.
Love
You got I like Zach Benson. You got
Alex Tuck's pretty good.
You got
I like Tuck.
sometimes Tage, who's sometimes there and other times not, and you got a couple young goalies. You got the Jedi Master and Devin Levi. You got big tall UPL. Why can't they get it together?
I wish I did. I wish I did, because you're right. You look at them on paper.
Are fans frustrated at this point?
Oh my God. Listen, granted it was a Tuesday. What was it, Tuesday we played Ottawa?
Yes.
Okay, so granted it was a Tuesday night. I understand, right? It's school night, whatever. I could probably, no joke, throw a quarter in the other side of the arena we hear it. That's how empty it
Ottawa
is.
didn't bring it either.
Really?
Like it was a lack. It was. I'd rather watch the crappiest NFL game ever. Would have been 10 times more enjoyable.
I think with the Sabres is the coaching definitely needed to change.
Are you a Lindy Ruff guy? Are you happy he's there?
Bring back Ted Nolan.
They tried that one time.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Well,
that.
that's their
that.
thing. They brought back Lindy Ruff too. It's like,
I knew that. I didn't know they brought. I thought
They brought back Nolan in probably the mid 2010s. Like 2013, 2014, something. Ted Nolan was back.
Dude,
and
he's
people
like
were
the best coach ever.
Well, yeah, people were excited about that. But here's my thing with Lindy. There's two sides of the coin, obviously.
Okay.
And one side is, yeah, I think he knows how to develop young players, and he'll make them play hard, and he's probably hard on them. And
Yeah.
I think he can be a good transitional coach.
Well, they needed accountability, right? Wasn't that a big thing?
100%. I liked Granato. They played hard for Granato the first year.
Sure.
But that second year, they went 2 steps back.
Lost his message, maybe?
Yeah, but then I think, too, that the Lindy Ruff hire might have been a little lazy, in my opinion.
Okay. All right, in your opinion, if you're like the investy type or you like hockey prospecting, if I was going to say, who would you steer me to, JJP or Zach Benson? Which one?
God, that's... Actually, I'm going to throw you a wild card here.
Oh, somebody else. Really?
I think Uka could...
Uka Pekalukanen.
I think he could be the Sabres.
Really?
Goal. The
Coolest name ever.
Yeah.
Right, besides a cool name. Yeah. No, because like it's not often that I watch UPL and I go, oh, that goal was his.
Sounds like a TV station.
What's that?
I watch UPL because they have the Cosby Show on it.
Coming up at 5
Yeah.
on UPL.
Really? I'm more of a Levi kind of channel guy.
I just canceled myself saying the Cosby Show, right? I just aged myself.
That's all right. I brought up Claire Huxtable.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm down with it.
Okay, Charles in charge.
Wow, that Three's Company.
I got one for you because when I was a little bit younger, couldn't afford cable, right? So I had to use the antenna.
Yeah.
I used to watch Night Court.
Oh, yeah.
Night Court's great. John
Bull.
Larroquette.
Bull.
John Larroquette.
Yeah.
John Larroquette.
Bull was
Yeah.
good too.
I used to watch Night Court all the time.
I remember an episode where a lady thought the TV was real. And he's like, no, ma'am, I'm in front of you. That's not me on the TV. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I love Night Court. Night Court was great. Yeah.
Okay, so UPL's your guy.
I like you. Yeah, UPL. I think I'm so bad at these. Choose one or the other because. Yeah. But I think UPL. I genuinely think he could be the Sabres goalie.
Okay.
I really do.
All right. Well, have fun at wrestling. Thank you for coming on the show.
I'm so happy you asked me, man. I love it. I've been waiting.
All right.
I'm glad you finally got on.
I'm happy too.
Your accent's strong.
It's the Western New York accent. We're hard on the A's.
All right.
We are super hard. So like Josh Allen. It's Josh Allen.
Yeah.
That's how we say
Well, see, I'm a Minnesota. Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Fargo was in Minnesota, so I didn't. I got no geography going in there. Yeah.
And you've never heard of David Adams. And
I've heard of David Adams.
Dave
I
of
just
Adams?
don't understand the thing around it, the vibe.
He doesn't know how many provinces are in Canada. He loves the beaver, and you're either a noun or verb. Now, is Troy a noun or a verb?
Troy is a verb.
What is a noun?
Troy walked.
What?
Yeah.
So the act of Troy.
Yes.
I can hear Louis.
Yeah, that was a good one. That got him good.
It doesn't
Louis
matter.
is dying
What, am I
right now.
teaching grade 10? Get out of here.
Yeah. All right, dude. Thank you so much.
Hey, appreciate you, man.
All right,
Thank
we'll
you.
talk to you later.
All right,
Bye,
sounds
Troy.
good. Bye.
Back at the Slab Sharks Studio, live from the floor of the Toronto Sport Card Expo, and very pleased and excited to be joined by, in person, the guys from the Late Game movie. We have Jeff Zucker and then Sean Shapiro, who you guys all do a lot of things, but Sean is a movie star, and he's a writer and journalist and insider and everybody's favorite hockey dentist, Jeff Zucker. So welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Glad to have you here. So this is your first time at the Expo. We got to start there.
Yeah.
Just what it's been like.
It is crazy. Like, you told me hockey card heaven, so like I was anticipating that, but it's just like, I mean, especially as a kid from South Carolina originally, like I've never seen this much hockey in one place, and it just like, it gets me pumped. Like,
Overwhelming?
It's overwhelming
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
crazy,
It's like, what do I do? Do I buy anything? Like, I see something cool. I'm like, well, what if I see something better? And then I'd end up with nothing. So,
well, we don't get this. Sorry, I'll just say, and I want to get your opinion on this too, Sean, but we don't get big hockey community in the U.S., and so it's weird to be able to come to a spot where we have so many people to share that common interest with us. It's so niche in the U.S. and it's all small pockets. But what's it been like for you, Sean?
Well, I was going to say that because we were in Cleveland at the National this year.
Yep.
And then him and I were actually in New York for a day and had done the Fanatics Fest or whatever. So we'd been to a couple bigger shows, right? And all of those, you're walking around and basically had to ask every booth, like, do you have hockey, right?
Yeah.
Like, you had to just go around and you had to basically, and like you're speaking a foreign language to some. And so I've never once had to ask anyone here if they have hockey.
Yeah, no
like
questions like that.
It's you're walking around and like that's been really cool to me. And I think it's the thing that's been cool to me is there's been a couple like I'm trying to figure out how to get 40 Canadian right now to pick up something on the way out. Like it's been cool to see. It's not just like at those other shows, it'd be like, and if they had hockey, it was just a Gretzky. It was just like, it was
The
just
big names.
Gretzky, Crosby.
Exactly,
right?
yeah. But so, like, for example, there's something I want to pick up on the way out where from my writing career, one of the most influential stories I've ever written was on a guy named Stephen Johns, who played his last game in the NHL in the Edmonton bubble in 2020, had to retire at 27 because of concussions and headaches and everything like that. And a couple years back, he rollerbladed from where he lived in Pennsylvania to Pacific Ocean. And he's making a document.
Rollerbladed from the East Coast to the West Coast?
He rollerbladed from Pennsylvania
That's
to. He did it over the course of, and they're making a documentary about it, and they're going to do.
He's like the Forrest Gump of rollerblading.
Yeah, and so, yeah, exactly. And so a
Roll,
booth over
Forrest,
there,
roll.
a booth over there had a John's patch. From the Cup from 2018-19 or whatever, when he was still a defenseman that was still like he was supposed to be the long-term partner with Miro Heiskanen. That was the plan, right? But then the concussions and everything ended his career. That's a card, to get long story short, that's a card for me where it's like, I'm walking around some other show or anything like that. No one's putting that out, right? Like, and there's that in that booth. And so now my quest is to sell and get some cash to get it done. But like, it's the, like, to me, that's so cool, just from the card perspective. If it's not just...
There's some like gems here that you can't find other
Something
places.
for everybody, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't want to go to the card show. I only collect weird things. The weird things will be here.
Exactly, and that's kind of my point, where there's no, like, it's not just the tip of the mountain for hockey.
Right.
It's everything where you can go through all that stuff. So
I've made one purchase for myself so far, $20. Nick Bonino, Day with the Cup. It's him on the golf cart with the cup. And so for those that don't know, Nick Bonino was on the 2009 National Championship team at Boston University. I was a junior at the time there. And so I PC guys that were on that team. We had 10 guys skating the NHL from that team.
That's amazing.
So, I mean, seeing him on the cup, or him with the Stanley Cup on the golf cart, that's a fun card for the PC.
Those Day with the Cup cards are tough odds, too. I mean, they're very rare. They don't go for a ton, but it's kind of cool to know that you've got a card that's so rare. And I love them too because it speaks to the specialness of the Stanley Cup, and there's all the lore about how the players get that, that day to be with it and celebrate with their family.
Do they still make those Day with the Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
it's also a card too that's like effectively earned, right? Like like you don't get a Day with the Cup card unless you've won the Stanley Cup, right? Like so it's
So next year's would be, why am I blanking on?
Florida.
It'd be Florida, again. No, not again. But so it'll be their Day with the Cup.
Yeah.
And, you'll probably have Matthew Tkachuk when he threw the cup in the ocean.
Laughing at Brady.
Do they do coaches? Because I actually got to go to Jared Bednar's cup party. Like, maybe we can find me in the background.
Wait, when was that?
So the Avs won in 22, and Jared Bednar, he coached for the South Carolina Stingrays for 15 years. That's where I grew up. So I've known him since I was 8 years old.
Wow.
Amazing human being. All three of the former Stingrays coaches in the NHL are amazing human beings. Spencer Carberry, Ryan Morsovsky being the other two. But yeah, I got to go to Bedsy's party in 2022. It was in Sullivan's Island, South Carolina, near Charleston. And it was awesome. Yeah, just like we got to take pictures with the cup.
Close to the cup?
Oh yeah, we got to take pictures with it. There's a picture of me, Betsy, and my mom with the cup.
Wow, that's awesome.
It was so somebody.
That's actually hopefully that's the card. Like
that's the card they probably used. Me, my mom, and Betsy. Of course. And some guy went and picked up the cup, and the keepers weren't looking, and then they saw him and they freaked out at him. You're not supposed to pick it up if you didn't win it.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've heard it's pretty beat up. Like,
especially if you catch it like mid-party
Well, there's
season.
two, right? There's two.
There's at least two.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen both in the same room together?
I have not. I don't know if they allow that.
Because apparently they have the dents. Everything is exactly the same, right?
The one difference, I think it's the on Edmonton. One of them has Peter Pocklington X'd out.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
And so one of them, I think it's the the presentation. I'm not sure on this exactly, but I think the one that actually goes around is the one that's X'd out.
You got to have at least one marking, or else you'd be like,
the one,
which one is
and
it?
the one that's actually in the Hall of Fame when it's not going around. They just didn't put Pocklington at all, and I think that's.
You remember Curtis McDermott wiping out with it when the Avs won at the bar?
No.
Yeah. So it had some stuff going on. It looked like wasn't in as good a
It was
shape
lost
as
in
you'd
the
like.
canal in Ottawa for I think 4 days in 1900 something.
Really? That's amazing.
Sorry. Wild. Never going to win the cup. So. Well, now, Jeff, you're a car guy. So have you found anything cool so far, or are you still looking?
Oh, man, I'm keeping my eye out for, like, a really special Kel McCarr card here. I mean, I've got a few decent ones in my collection, but, yeah, I'm looking for something that catches my eye. You know, I'm not, like, the expert on cards. I got back into this, like, 6 months ago or so. But, yeah, like, Rainbow Foil or something, Kel McCarr.
Player guy or team guy or set guy?
I'm a huge Avs fan. I'm a Pens fan, but like I'm a player guy. I love so many different players. I love watching them. You know, right now McCarr, McKinnon, Crosby are like the three that I'm focused on.
Oh,
you're
you're going low price. That's good.
Yeah.
Staying
guys. But plus those BU guys I mentioned.
There's a McCarr Cup card gold out of 5 over there for $15,000.
I think I saw that and watched.
He got an offer for $12,500 and he didn't take it.
Wow.
I was like, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Imagine that 12.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
Beautiful
I looked at
card,
that one.
though,
I was
eh?
like, that's a little too rich for me.
Yeah.
Well, you could go offer 12.6 right now and see.
Yeah. I'm not gonna, but yeah.
What's the craziest thing you've seen so far here?
Yeah, I saw a Gretzky. What is the like NHL patch or something?
The shield?
Yeah, the Gretzky shield. It was 6 figures, the price. Yeah, it was like maybe $200,000 or something insane.
Yeah, a lot of those are game used too.
So crazy.
For 6 figures.
That's
like
probably
that,
the craziest. That's like been the most mind-blowing thing. What about you?
The thing that I thought it wasn't the most like expensive thing or anything, but over there was someone had Chelios.
You're
like
a Chelios guy, right? On, me too.
Yeah, but they had the Chelios. It was the A from the jersey.
Okay.
But they had the one. It was 1 of 2, but they had the 1 of 1 and the 1 of 2, and the 2 of 1.
So it was like the top half
right next to each other.
Nice,
so it was
man.
it was one of those where it's like the 2 card themselves cool already, but like they had them next to each other. Like
Presented beautifully.
Yes,
eh?
it's like
I got one more I got to mention too. I saw, the letters. Like I know it's some of them are the draft day, but it was all Crosby letters, and it was like from their old jersey, and they had the whole set of the name Crosby,
awesome.
and he had just sold it to someone for $13K.
Woo!
Yeah,
That's crazy.
So.
Did you guys see Marcel Dion in his booth?
We did.
Is that wild?
Yeah.
It's amazing that
surreal,
he's just standing there, and he has a Stingrays connection too. I can't stop. So he was the founder of the South Carolina Stingrays in the ECHL in 93, 94.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Giving back to the community, eh?
Yeah,
Holy crap.
amazing guy. I chatted with him for a while yesterday. He kind of like semi-hit on my mom through me. But
he did.
So
he did.
my family was one of a few that bought the team from him in the mid-90s in the South Carolina Stingrays, and so he remembered my parents and stuff, and so we had a really great conversation yesterday.
That's amazing.
Stepdad material or what?
I mean, my mom's partner David wouldn't be too happy. So as much as I'd love Marcel Dion to be, part of the family,
Or your stepdad. Maybe there's something there. He could be your stepdad, you know?
I mean, well, so unfortunately my dad passed, but I have a kind of stepdad. He's just not an official title. But so I don't think he'd be too happy if Marcel Dion sat
No.
in on his lady.
But it's Marcel Dion.
But he's a Hall of Fame. What is he, 5th all-time in points?
Honorary stepdad.
Yeah, okay.
That works. I think we're on
I'll go back and see him tomorrow. I'm going to say, you could be honorary stepdad.
Okay, well, you guys are here, obviously, to come experience the Expo.
Yep.
But in addition to that, of course, is to help create awareness for the Late Game movie, which is a movie that you made. It released in the U.S. 6 months, almost a year ago now?
About
February now.
Yeah, sorry, March March this year, I guess, 24. Everything is moving so quick.
6
So
months ago. So for anyone and it is available in Canada and the U.S. and Canada on Amazon Prime and
or U.S. on Amazon Prime, Canada, Apple TV.
There you go.
U.S. we got a few. So basically, you just go to thelategame.com/stream and you can see exactly where to go for your country.
Perfect.
But yeah, it's about one night of beer league hockey, and it's a lot of fun.
Do we have Plinko going on next
story?
I don't know.
It sounds like Bob Barker's over there.
Either that or just like someone setting up giant dominoes over and over again.
Yeah, I know.
eBay
It's out
heard
of
we were
control.
talking about the movie. They were like, we don't want people to find out about the late game.
Well, anyone that hasn't seen the late game, give us a couple-minute overview about it.
Yeah, it's about one night at a beer league game. Me and my business partner that grew up playing hockey together in South Carolina wrote it. Playing a bunch of 30-somethings just trying to make it through their 11 o'clock game.
Oh, love it.
And it's kind of about making friends as an adult, too, and just how that it can be hard, but the hockey community offers, like, if you move somewhere, you kind of got an opportunity to meet some people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this one guy, he's been on hard times and gets talked into subbing for the 11 p.m. game, and it's a feel-good comedy, you know? You walk away with a smile on your face, and you don't have to think about all the shit going on in the world. You don't have to think about all the stuff going on in the world. Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
The stuff going on in the world.
Family show. We'll blame Phil.
Yeah, Phil, come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I got a big mouth on me.
I hope it makes people smile. It was so fun to make, and we hope to do more with it.
So we were at our house, the Chateau Gongshow this morning, and one of our really good friends, California Dave, who plays beer league, was talking about your movie, and he's like, I watched the movie, and he's like, every guy on the team, like every character, he's like, oh yeah, I know, there's a guy like that.
Relatable, very relatable.
There's a guy like that in our beer league. So you guys obviously took your collective experience and the personalities of beer league hockey to create these characters that are really funny.
That's been one of my favorite parts of it. Like, you talk to people and they see the movie and they're like, oh, that's this guy on my team. Or the I have a good friend who watched it. So, actually, you've seen the video of this. I play on Wednesday nights. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, my team got into a bit of a scuffle at one point. The other team had 5-game suspensions
in one game
for the other team.
Oh, man.
And,
wow.
So my
what
buddy,
do you got to do to get suspended
Is
for
this the
5 games?
penal league, or?
It was a 2-1 game. There was less than a minute left. A little bit of jarring. Our guy probably shouldn't have, but he flipped their stick into our bench. Their guy came to go get it.
Them fighting words.
And he decided to try to jump into our bench. And
oh my goodness.
There's some good footage.
There's some good footage. And
it could be B-roll for your next
it
movie.
is.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
So, long story short, they got a combined 15 games of suspension between 3 guys.
Wow.
Our guy got 2 or 3. Wednesday was his first game back. And then, but my buddy watched it right after that, and he's like, wow, that's the young Genos, isn't it? Like, that's the team we just played. Like, that's like that's them of our league. So I love that part. So
you guys are coming to Rip Party tonight?
We are.
Oh, yeah,
we are
we're pumped.
Excited about that. Yeah, so we're recording this on Friday afternoon, just a few hours from Rip Party. So can't wait to see you there and enjoy your time at the show, guys.
Yeah,
Have a great time. And if you have not watched the late game movie, again, in the U.S., Amazon Prime, Apple, TV in Canada,
and the U.S. too. Apple TV in the U.S. too. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
TheLateGame.com/stream. That's the easiest spot to find your
It'll direct
where to watch it.
We need more hockey content. So what's the next project? Are you ready to announce anything? We break news on the show, right?
Yes. Massive breaking news
Unfortunately,
channel.
there's no news to break
When's
at the
part
moment.
2?
Yeah.
But we would love to make another one. Like, we just need lots of people to watch it so that we can make more, like, whether it's a TV show or another movie. We want to make more late game content. We want to make more hockey content. So, yeah, anybody out there looking to make it, we'd be down to collaborate.
Awesome. All right, man. All right. Cool. All right, we'll see you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us, guys.
All right, we're back from the Expo Slab Sharks Studio. Another interview. First time on our show. Grant Patterson.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Now, help me understand the difference between TS Sports and GP Sports.
Yeah, so Total Sports is our retail store in Toronto. And then GP Sports is sort of like our online breaking platform, social media.
Gotcha.
So our family owns both, but I represent more GP Sports as like a breaker and online social media wise. Yeah.
Now, one of the things I've noticed, this is my 5th Expo.
Yeah.
This has to be the biggest you guys have gone at one of these shows, right?
Yeah, we went, we tried to increase, like last year we did 4 booths, but I also gave away a booth to my friends. So this year we went with 6 solo. And
wow.
It was a big jump. The square is a little harder to manage with every single corner having to watch out for.
It's a little tough,
But it's been good. It's been the busiest I've seen the Expo on a Friday and a Saturday, so it's been awesome so far.
A lot of deals going down?
A lot of deals. It's just one after the other. It's such a good constant flow of collectors back to back, and it's good to meet everybody as well. I love the Toronto Expo.
Oh, you were at Rip Party last night. Thank you. You donated a box or more. I can't keep track. I'm so sorry. I hope you had a good time.
That was awesome.
It was great to have you there, and so I had to get that out of the way. Just again, thank so many people chipped in, and I've said this already on our show, but the thing that I'll never forget about last night is just how everybody embraced the spirit of giving.
Yeah. It was awesome. Everybody brought something and had a good time opening up, and so many different boxes, so many cool pulls too. It's really nice.
So this might be a little self-serving, but as a content guy, one of the things I've really observed from afar, and as you have built your business, and is really how much you're using content to do that. Like I even came and got you at your booth, and you've got a guy with a camera. I mean,
his job is for Grant to follow Grant around.
That's a real camera. We don't have a camera like you got like a professional setup there, but you're all mic'd up and you're doing the deals. Has that really helped you build your business and create exposure for GPS and all the stuff you're doing?
Definitely. That's one thing that I feel like hockey's lacking a little bit in, is that sort of content and social media aspect. We see so many influencers for football, basketball, hockey. We don't have as many, so I try to put out that content because I find also being a store, like it's so important to get new collectors and new hobbyists into what we love, and so those videos and trying to do new things I think helps with that. So main priority for this, like of course the buying and selling, all that is great, but I'm trying to put out good content as well for these shows now, because the main part of our business is the wax. The singles, I try to buy at a fair price, make the seller happy, and then also sell at a good price, allow like stores and other people to make their share as well. So I'm trying to make my 10-15%, but trying to capture that content as well, because that's important, I think, for growing the hobby.
Well, I think for something that hasn't been to the Expo, seeing content like that, and hopefully like seeing our show, and it kind of maybe gets people that were maybe on the fence to say, okay, this is a place that I need to go and experience I need to have.
It's safe place. Grant, your content's very family oriented and safe, and there's a way to do it and still be cool. Cards are cool. I find your channel and your whole operation with your family business represents that. You can bring right to the dad, to the kid. I mean, and sorry, I'm going to steal this away. Segue. Your dad introduced himself to me, and we talked forever. I'm a father as well. How would you say your dad has helped you along this journey? And
my dad's been a huge part. It's because I've been in the industry for so long that I was in it before it was like, money was in it, sort of thing. It was before.
It's your passion, it's your love, right?
Yeah. So I did it for the love of, I would break back in the day and flip cards, but it was only to buy more cards. And it's still pretty much like that. Like, I'm making obviously more money now, but I still don't have any assets aside from cards, because it all goes back into cards at the end of the day. But my dad was great, where I was a true passionate collector, and I didn't know as much the business side. So he really helped me out getting the store started, getting everything legitimized, and that was a big step. He still doesn't know too much about the cards. I'm like, hey, in the store, that's a blaster box. You shouldn't be selling that as a retail box.
Yeah.
So there's still a few hiccups. There's been a
strengths and weaknesses. Strengths and weaknesses.
Few hobby boxes sold as blasters, but they come with the learning curve. But he's still getting into the hobby, learning that side. But he's great with the business, and he used to manage, so he's great with conversations. That's a big part as well with the distributors and talking to the right people.
Sure, he's full of energy, man. He's rejuvenated over there. He ran over. Hey, how's it going? That was awesome, man.
He loves your content. So my dad's like one of those guys that doesn't have much social media, but he's like on Instagram, and he's under like a random account with no username or anything, and he's just like, he follows like 5 or 6 people, and you're one of them.
I'm one of them. I'm beyond honored.
Like, we got to do something with him. He's the best. His energy, and I'm like, I love it.
I love it, man. Your dad's the best.
Well, speaking of Phil, can we talk about the cup break? The greatest trade ever in the history of cup breaks.
That was wild one. That was like true collector, die hard.
Yeah, you gave me a good
live
shout
on
out. You're like,
the-
Phil, you're one of the real ones.
And then I told you to stop watching.
Our friendship went up a little bit. Yeah. That was
But
good,
we got
man.
you one, and that was the cool part. I mean,
Oh, you've hooked me up. I bought my biggest card I've ever bought from my life. I bought from Grant 2 days ago. So that's
that was a
good.
big
Yeah.
one.
Well, just in case anyone missed it, we got to explain really quick what happened. So I'll let you explain.
I joined Grant had the biggest cup break mixer I've ever seen. I think the hobby has ever seen, right? 6010s?
I don't know.
Is that the biggest break you've ever done, though, Grant?
That was our biggest break.
Okay.
For
So
sure,
I think I'm safe to say top 3 ever I've seen in hockey. 6010s, the buy-in was like, what, 350, 400 or something?
I think, yeah, 300 roughly.
300, let's say. I bought 2 spots, and it was random select, right? And I got Kent Johnson with his rookie year, and I traded it for Brady Tkachuk. And the story doesn't stop there.
And he had about every Ken Johnson imaginable. And no Brady Tkachuk.
5 Kent Johnson.
He knows. He remembers.
Sorry, I got 5 Kent
Your
Johnson
brain
cards.
just froze.
Flashbacks.
Kent Johnson cards came up, including a 1-of-1 exquisite. Yeah, a 1-of-1 exquisite that I traded for Brady Tkachuk. And only one Brady Tkachuk card came out, and it had Thomas Sabat on it, and Grant didn't even hesitate.
Yeah.
He bought the card from the person to give it to me. He didn't even give him the
100%.
option.
Had to.
So a little bad business for some
The-
great business.
The pain that was in my heart for
Yeah, I
you, when
felt.
I was like, every single one that kept coming in the 1-1, I was like, Phil, I hope you're in bed.
Yeah, I was. But Anthony messaged me and got me out of bed and showed me what I lost, so that was great. Yeah. But, GP Sports, their breaks are great. Just don't trade.
Classic Phil moment
Yeah,
in the hobby.
yeah.
I've also noticed, too, that, and I'm really happy to see this, that you've been working to get more local in Toronto here, but it's a big deal, more athletes involved in cards. And I saw you had, I think my Golden Gopher, row the boat Sky Yamat Go Gophers, Matthew Nyes, in for a cup break. So that was pretty. I think that's really important for our hobby, don't you?
100%. Yeah, I've been telling Upper Deck and a few higher ups that like that's what other sports have and we lack as hockey. I know it's a lot harder with hockey athletes. Like I was listening to a podcast the other day, a hockey podcast, and they're struggling to get like current athletes on because I guess something with the agents, it's very hard to do for hockey players. But
why? That's so dumb.
I know it's something with the NHL. It's like
super silly.
Top like baseball and basketball. Like you see the crazy interviews that they have, but hockey guys like they're so cookie cutter dry. So I don't know if that's like with their agents or who that is.
Or if it's like a culture thing, it's like, well, if it's during the season and I go on a podcast, I'm not committed enough to the team or winning. But it's like, I feel like hockey doesn't want to grow sometimes. You know, it's like they don't. They
make funny decisions.
They really
make very
do.
peculiar decisions.
Yeah. So yeah, but I think that's huge. I try to push that. Like this weekend, we got Bobby McMahon coming.
Nice.
So for an opening, I'm trying to do the local like Leafs guys right now.
Sure.
We got Brady Tkachuk once, which was a crazy name, but
You already interviewed Brady Tkachuk.
I should have brought you.
It's okay. No, I don't want to meet him. I don't want to meet my heroes, man. I know. What if I don't like him? I'll sell all his cards at like a 40% loss.
He generally is one of the nicest guys. So I was I was lucky enough to run into him. For Game 7 of
just bump into him.
The finals. Yeah. So he was at the airport for Game 7 of the Oilers final, watching his brother.
Yeah.
And I like just went up to him and he talked to me for like 5-6 minutes, like the coolest guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I do want to meet him.
He's so good.
Do you know?
Is his head that big in real life? He's a big dude, right?
Big dude.
He's
All
a big
these athletes tower over me. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Do you know if there's any like Mike Trout kind of player in the NA that's like really into collecting?
So, a crazy story, and I don't know how legitimate this is, but I know a guy who creates custom cards, and he said that Connor Bedard was like a fan of 05-06 set design, and he had him create a custom card of himself in the 05-06 universe. So that would tell me that he's definitely into cards.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, that was just somebody coming into the shop that said that. But if that's true, that'd be
They would
amazing.
need to nurture that. You nurture,
100%.
massage, and catapult.
Yeah. And I think so. I think as we start to get these new players coming up, younger guys, they're going to be involved in the hobby. Like I know a lot of people collect it, but not as serious as it is now. So I think I give it like 3-4 years until we start to see these 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds that are collecting, that are now into the hobby, and I think it's going to change. Same thing with all sports, I think, just because of the boom. There's a lot more collectors. But I don't know any like big star older athletes that collect. I know Zach Hyman. I have a cool story with him.
Sylvan's favorite.
Yeah. I think it's his uncle is like the biggest super collector of his cards. And
really?
So when I was younger, in my flipping stages, I would hunt him, and I was like the guy who would shuttle the cards to his uncle, and I must have supplied like 6 of the high gloss young guns, like a few 101s, and like that's the stuff I love, like to see that. I know Mitch Marner's the same. Like I think his dad buys his cards, so I think it's one of those things where like the parents collect for their kids, but.
Well, we have a friend who sold the card on eBay to Devin Levi's mom, so
that's cool.
You could tell that by the address.
Who do you? So I know you buy and sell, you lots of business, but does Grant have a PC that's just in a shoebox that's untouchable? Is there a vault for Grant?
I got a big vault. I'm addicted. Like when I say addicted to cardboard, it's bad. Like. It's now I'm like a kid in the candy store, which is like the stuff I could never dream of getting is now what I hunt.
Have you bought any PC purchases so far this weekend?
This show, I probably picked up my biggest PC edition, not value-wise, but what I love in the last like 5 years. It is the complete nameplate of Crosby, each letter being like out of 6 his last name.
Nice.
So
no, nameplates are the game used ones, right?
Yes, the game used ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get the whole DDM thing.
Yeah.
I really fall off the cliff fast when it comes to manufacturer patches. I'm not like throwing shade.
Yeah, for sure.
Some people love them. It's cool, but I just can't do it.
So this set was the cup one, so it's game used. So
wow,
it was a pretty penny, but like it was one of those things. I don't think I'll ever see another complete set. Like funny enough, I had a guy bring by one letter of the name from a different year today. And I was like, am I going to get started on another mission here? I can't. But to get it all in one set, I paid a premium, but I was so happy to get it. So my main PC is Legend Hall of Famer Shields. So
oh, wow.
The thing is,
that's an easy one.
Yeah. The thing is with that stuff, it's so hard to find nowadays because they're all dried up in collector's collection. That I maybe pick up 2 or 3 a year. So it doesn't get me excited anymore. So I expand. Crosby is one of my main guys. Lemieux, Penguins fan. So, and then just unique cards, stuff that you don't see every day, like Gordy, Hartford Whaler stuff. Just random mix. So
I got a question for you. So you break a lot through GPS Sports, and in like the last 6 months, do you have a favorite product? I'm not talking about like value-wise or ROI-wise. Just a product that you're opening and you're like, dang, I really like this.
I loved Stature. I'm like a big fan of Ingrains coming back, so I'm excited for that. But Stature was one of my favorites. 22, 23, I think they did a great job. The only thing with that is I'm almost glad 23, 24 is taking a year off because there's so many 101s and parallels in that.
Too many.
It does flood the market.
Too many.
Sure. So like it was great when they came out with it in like 2019, 2020, but now the print runs are more, of course.
I think it confuses people.
Yeah.
Photo variation, portrait variation, design variation, photo design, photo portrait,
design
portrait.
Brady Kachuk 101s, that's when I tapped out. I was okay with 2. Different white jersey, black jersey. Now it's like purple with white jersey, purple with black. Like that's enough. But and I love them all. They're beautiful cards. But if I buy one, I'm like, you have to get them all.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites because I also consider it like as much as I love opening the cup and stuff like that. ROI as well is big, and I know Stature. Every box like. You're going to get a numbered card of a really nice player or an autograph of a pretty decent player in a case.
And the patches and Stature.
Stature's got a good resale value?
It's not great. I'm not going to say that's great, but the box cost is a lot less. And so the quality of, like, you're getting a Timu Salami autograph for a $200 box. Yeah. Versus, cup. I love cup, hey. We break a lot of cup. There's nothing like it.
The guy. When yesterday, see Grant, he smelled it out he just showed him.
So the cup is there, of course. The one product, like, I used to love it growing up, and we ripped it, like, last night, is 0405 Ultimate. I love Ultimate Collection. I found it's just become so risky, hit or miss. But that's another product. The shield upside on it is crazy. So
that's how crazy Grant is. He forgot SPA 2324, so he brings 0405 Ultimate.
That's it. Just that. Do you collect like sealed wax too, or I tried to, but I just open it. I can't do it.
I've dabbled in the old wax. Now it's hard to find. It's super expensive, but I have sort of like a collection of wax that I rip like a box every month. I would say that I pull out of like the vault for the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I try to hunt stuff that I've never seen online opened up. So these products that like we all remember them, but we haven't seen in quality footage get it opened up.
Well, like we saw at Rip Party last night, 98 Bowman's Best.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness! Remember Anthony?
Yeah.
And he goes right past the Wayne Gretzky refractor. No one noticed. Yeah.
Nobody
I
cares.
don't think he. I thought he thought it was a base card or something. And then the Shane Corson atomic refractor. My goodness,
Yeah,
that was crazy.
to see an atomic refractor pulled.
Oh, what a
regardless
card.
of the name, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
What Shane Corson's good. There's some weird things with Brodeur there, I think, wasn't there?
I don't know. So, how long does it take to recover after an expo? Like, do you take a few days off and like sleep?
Unfortunately, this one is right going into the release of the new premiere.
Yeah.
So that's Wednesday.
It's been back to back to back to back.
It's been busy. So this weekend's crazy. Where tonight I had to go home and price out all the breaks and create a list for our customers for the breaks to go up tomorrow for the Wednesday release. So we finish up packing on Sunday, and then probably Monday is going to be a recoup kit day.
Yeah.
And then right into it on like Tuesday, Wednesday, going to the new
Are
release.
you a Premiere guy? Do you like Premiere?
Love Premiere.
I do too.
It's such a nice set, beautiful. I will always be upset that they took away the Premiere acetate patch autos of the vets, the 101s. That was like one of my all-time favorite sets. But I think it's a good mix where they do it like every couple years. They don't overdo it, so that's good. But the acetate finish, there's such a nice quality cards.
Yeah.
And the mega patches, like
of course,
nice stuff.
When you're doing your breaks and you're making adjustments on the website, it sounds like you're doing all that. Are you doing all that by yourself? So you don't have someone supporting you?
No, we have a team for shipping and sorting, but for pricing and
which is
and
kind of the worst
thing.
part of breaking, right? The shipping and sorting.
Yeah,
So you pay people to do that. You're not in there till 4 a.m. going.
I am. So we have a nice process where we have a sorter, a packager, but I do the labels because these orders, some of them can get expensive. So the final touch, I would say, is like printing the label and making sure everything goes well.
Yeah, are you terrified of the wrong card going to the wrong person? That would like.
Yeah.
And you just have to pray for a reasonable person at that point, right?
Exactly. It happens. Like I would say 1 out of 1,000. So it's very very rare. It's
and you don't
more
want to
so-
yell. You don't want to yell at some. You can be mad at yourself and deal with it. You don't want to yell. Imagine someone else makes that mistake.
Exactly. So when it's mine on the end, it's like I feel it's my responsibility because
you just got to own it and deal with it and move on.
Yeah, we always work it out with the customer. Like we had an issue for a little while, like with a new sorter that had the error of the old Winnipeg Jets. So that always, like when you get a new person on the team, that's always one that like they struggle with a little bit. But over time they know it and they learn from it, and so it's just it goes with the breaking, but. That's not the fun part of breaking, for sure.
I just want to rip the wax, man. You guys pay everyone to do everything else.
Well, I mean, that's breaking's a really hard business, and it's a grind. Now you're a store, so you have the advantage. Like a lot of independent breakers, the hardest part is like sourcing product for them because there's no like real direct way for them to get product, and then you got to perform and entertain on the stream, and you got to set everything up, and then the shipping and packing.
Well, you're great with the mic, on the voice, everything. It's very professional. It sounds like it'd be your dad. Your dad's actually more excitable than you are, which is funny.
The only side of that where I know like we've gotten some slack sometimes and margins wise, the thing I've like contemplated, and of course like I went the store route because I want to like inspire people and grow the hobby, but there's also like a side of it where yes, we get some products at cost, and it's really we need those though, because there's a lot of products that aren't great that we have to take a lot of, and we have the like a big inventory of product that just doesn't move, and slowly. But I'm not one of those guys who's gonna jam it down people's throat. Like I take my loss on that stuff, and I continue to put like the good stuff in the breaks, and I'm not gonna throw older stuff that
you really have
wants.
to juggle. And at one point, Troy and I thought of opening a store in Minnesota, and that's the part that stopped us, is like learning that, and I don't even know I have like a 20% understanding about how distribution works, and it's like, sure, yeah, I mean, we'll take all the 2023, 24 SPA, but you got to take 20 cases of 22 credentials, and it's like that will never sell, right? And it's so you really have to juggle and balance all of that out, and we'll see where it heads. It seems like this industry keeps growing and maturing. I mean, you come to an event like this, and we heard from Ken Reed the other day that he looks back to 20 years ago when it was just a bunch of flat tables, like what I would call like a church basement show. A bunch of old guys and their old collections.
Those tables would give you splinters. They were so old.
Yeah, and now it's it feels more like an event, and so
collecting's cool, man.
Yeah,
and
hobby's in a good place.
It's up to us to push that narrative. I'm cool. Grant's cool. Josh is cool. Let's keep going, man.
I remember back in the day, like it was the funniest thing now because there's so many kids around here. I remember when I was 13, 14, I wouldn't come to Expo because there was no kids.
Because
you just felt weird.
It felt weird. Like that's back in 2012, 13. Like that's what it was. Where I was probably intimidated, but there was not many kids like walking the show floor. So
now you got 12-year-olds with Zion cases that plop them down, and it's like they got $50,000 worth of cards. So Phil and I were giving away our idea. We wanted to make a Zion case that had like the light when you open it and the for all these
doesn't
kids.
matter how crappy the cards are in it. It looks cool.
Yeah. So that's what's great to see is like there's a lot more kids now, and there's so many kids with crazy collections doing this full time now at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Like crazy the age of these kids with the entrepreneurship. And the grind.
Well, you're a testimonial to that yourself, right? I mean, that's sort of the lineage that you came from. Well, it's cool to see your business grow. Congratulations on your success and promoting the hobby.
You got a big thing that happened from your store from Upper Deck this past year. What was it?
Yes, we got the authorized internet retailer status.
Huge,
so
congratulations.
Was that I assume that's a process to get done?
Yeah, that was what when I first started the store. That was my #1 goal from day one.
Yeah.
It was something we worked for, and
they don't just give that to anybody.
No, you got to do things the right way.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that
puts you on the map, man.
Yeah, that was like a great honor to get that, and I just want to do Upper Deck well and represent their brand professionally. And
so for anyone who's listening or watching, where can they get more information about your store or your breaks or anything else that people should know about?
Yeah, so our retail store is Total Sports Cards and Collectibles. We're in Toronto. We have a retail website with all of our products and sealed inventory. And then we also have the GP Sports, which is the social media that you can find on Instagram, TikTok, all those platforms. And that's more just like hobby content and the breaks, of course. So,
great. Yeah. Well, thank you, Grant.
Yeah,
really appreciate it. And have a good rest of the show.
You as well, guys. Thanks for having me.
Okay, we're back. Some great conversations there for sure. Again, we talked to Johnny, Troy Licastro, Late Game Guys, and then Grant from GP Sports. Anything stand out to you guys about those conversations? What you remember of them at this point? Phil, do you remember any of them?
I don't remember a thing, man. I don't remember the first hour of this podcast. I don't know. I do remember one thing. I know Grant he doesn't get nervous, but he's quieter in unfamiliar situations. I'm so happy how comfortable he felt. I love Grant. He's a great guy. And a big shout out to Grant's dad, Troy. Big shout out to Troy Patterson. He is fantastic. Big fan of his as he is a big fan of ours. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was great to meet Troy. And Grant had a big presence there and was pretty busy. It seemed like all weekend, a lot of people bringing collections for him to buy. So,
do you remember Grant at Rip Party? This is why I love him, man. He's a great businessman, but by far, first and foremost, he is a collector. Yeah. He had when the Jeremy was opening that older box, it wasn't Bowman's Best, I forget, the Pacific one. Grant was on the table like this.
Vanguard,
Vanguard. We're like this, just like, whoa, this is crazy. And look at the boxes he opens. He's a true collector. Oh, someone's calling. He's a true collector, and he's a kid in a candy shop, and I very much relate to him, and I think a lot of other people do as well. So big shout out to him.
Yeah, he was also really into High Glass CBJ from Discord, brought a box of In the Game, and Grant was all about that too.
I didn't see that. Oh, I missed that completely.
Yeah.
Whoops.
We were busy, Phil. We were busy.
Busy.
All right. We're going to move on to our. All right, it's time to roll into our weekly Fanatics hockey preview. Now, Fanatics Collect is a Gongshow partner and sponsor. First, though, the November premiere auction is live. Ends Thursday, November 21st. There are 4 monster hockey cards in this month's premiere auction. There's a 2015 Upper Deck the Cup Gold Connor McDavid rookie patch auto out of 12 BGS 9. That's a big card. Hey, Phil?
Huge card. I would love to have that card.
Yeah, that's a biggie.
That's a biggie.
Next is a 2015 SP Authentic Limited Connor McDavid rookie patch auto, or as we like to call a flop, flop, flop. BGS 8.510. Beautiful patch. Again, another great looking card. And then the third McDavid Grail card is a 2015 SP Authentic Future Watch Auto PSA 10 Auto 10. That is available as well, so I'm sure that'll go for big money. And then finally, it's a non-McDavid. It's a 79 Topps Gretzky rookie BVG 9.
Wow.
So yeah,
I missed
now,
that one.
It's a pretty looking card. What's your favorite? If you could have any one of the 4, which one would you want? Now, price doesn't just card that you would enjoy owning.
Oh, that's a hard one, man. The cup, the out of 12 McDavid, or the I'd probably go that Topps Gretzky.
Really?
Yeah,
what about you?
maybe not.
What about you, Louis?
I don't know.
But this one I'm going to take off just for the fact that I don't like where the auto is.
The cup out of 12?
Yeah.
You know that's a gold out of 12 RPA, right?
That's fine. I don't like where that auto is over that. So either one of these two, the next two.
You're crazy. Over the Gretzky?
I like the flop. I think McDavid.
You're both
well, the
wrong.
Gretzky's a top, so I'm a little bit of an O-Pee-Chee. I want my O-Pee-Chee rough cut on my Gretzky, but hey, there's a card for everyone.
Yeah.
Nice little feature putting the Fanatics logo on that too, Louis.
Hey, you like that? Looks awesome in there.
Yeah, it looks great. Good job,
Look
buddy.
at that. Look at that Topps card though. That is a perfect hockey card. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that the Topps card stock was better, you know?
Yeah, the color's brighter.
Yeah.
You know, the corners and
It's a
edges
better
are better
hockey
if you like that.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, not only is the premiere auction live, there's also the weekly auction too. Each of us has picked out our favorite card in the current Fanatics Collect Weekly Auction, both vintage and modern categories. We're going to highlight them now. I will start with my favorite vintage card. So I picked the 1951 Ted Lindsay rookie PSA 7, which is near mint. This card I've always loved because it's a player in Ted Lindsay that I greatly respect. I got to remember, Ted Lindsay, to the detriment of his career, took on the owners and helped, I think, with Doug Harvey, establish the NHLPA. But Lindsay was also an incredible hockey player who, along with Sid Abel and one Gordie Howe, formed the famed production line in Detroit. So you guys got to check this out. Now, we've talked a lot about like mind-blowing stats over the history of the NHL on the show. This one, though, I just love. So 1949-50, the production line of Gordie Howe, Sid Abel, and Ted Lindsay finished 1, 2, and 3 in NHL scoring.
Cool.
For the whole season.
Nice.
That's a pretty impressive. For now, again, it was original 6, so there's 6 teams. That would almost be impossible at this point, probably in the NHL, and I don't think it's ever happened again. In 1,068 career games, Lindsay produced 379 goals, added 472 assists for 851 points. He was a 4-time Stanley Cup champion. He's, of course, in the Hall of Fame. His number 7 was retired by the Detroit Red Wings. And in 2010, the Lester B. Pearson Award was renamed the Ted Lindsay Award, I think in honor of his accomplishments and advocating for players and starting to the NHLPA. And the award is given annually to the NHL's most outstanding player in the regular season as judged by the members of the Players Association. So it's basically the MVP as voted on by the players. All right, let's chat briefly about the card itself. It's pretty well centered. It's a little off-centered top to bottom, left to right. It's a little off-centered right to left. The picture looks great. Print looks good. And, I think it's a very fine PSA 7. At PSA
it's
7,
so crooked in the case. It's so crooked in the case. Drives me batty.
I hate that too.
Sorry.
But at
Go on.
PSA 7, the pop of the card is 54. There's 70 graded higher. The highest PSA grade is 9, for which there's 6 copies. The last sale of a 1951 Parkhurst Ted Lindsay PSA 7 was $865 US dollars in September 5th. All-time high, 2,400 in June of 2023. So again, with vintage cards, you got to buy the card, not the grade. There could be a huge spectrum of value in the same grade. Like we never see that in like a Bedard Young Guns PSA 10, right? They all kind of slotted basically at what the current market value is. You got a current bid, Louis?
700 US.
Okay, yeah, so pretty strong so far.
Ooh, PSA 7, 700. I don't know.
All right, Phil, you're you got to pick the next one.
Yes, I do. Your favorite set, Josh. So what you're looking at, good listener, is a 1970 Topps Bobby Orr PSA 9. So it's actually in pretty good shape. Probably one of the ugliest sets of hockey cards I've ever seen. But this Bobby card, I've never actually really looked at it before. It's pretty good. I like it. So what you have here is Josh's favorite background with the cotton ball pom-poms or whatever they are. And it actually works in this photo, I think. You have 4 on the card, 1 in the top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. And where's Bobby? He's kind of in the middle of them. I think it looks good. And it's a very red card. Yeah, and I don't have card letter, so I don't have any mathematical information for you guys, but I'm probably sure not many of these cards exist as a PSA 9.
Well, we got to get you card letter. You know what I notice about these cards a lot is I'm pretty sure at the time to get there's no Photoshop, there's no like background remover tool on Canva or anything like that. So they had to like cut out pictures of these guys. Now look at his legs, and particularly from the knee down, how like sharply it comes.
Scissors, Mr. Dressup.
Very like Oompa Loompa-y, isn't it?
Yeah, he worked out the calves, man. It's a cool card. This is the best card of this set of 1970 Topps, I think.
You like the 1970 set?
No, I think it's hideous. I just think this card is probably one of the better ones because it just worked better for the layout.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a horrible set. It's terrible. In my opinion.
It's not for you.
It might be for someone else. There's lots of ways to collect, but personally, I do not want this set in my house.
Yeah. Wow, it's pretty aggressive. Not allowed in your house. Last sale, the 1970 Topps Bobby Orr PSA 9. You want to guess, Phil?
Yeah, I want to guess. 4,200.
You want to guess, Louis?
9's a big grade.
1,900.
Louis wins.
Oh.
It was 1,320 US on January of 26th of 2024. All-time high. Look right now. Louis is right on about 1,980.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a 10? Is there a 10 of this card?
And not that sold. We'd have to look that up on the pop report. So.
All right.
Okay, Louis, you got the next one?
Well, current bid on this card is 125.
Okay.
US.
Oh, thank you. That's important. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I got the next card and I went off the rails here.
Yeah. I'm gonna go take a nap and you let me know when you're done.
Hey now, I thought it was pretty interesting. It's a 1936 Alpha Olympics Sky LT. I don't know what that is. USA Hockey USA Hockey Team. Number 275. It's a PSA 4. Not a lot on like the US team then, but there were some interesting things that happened in this Olympics I thought I'd share. The men's ice hockey tournament at the 1936 Winter Olympics in Garmisch-Partenkirchen, Germany was
pretty good.
Yeah, it was
thank
good.
you. Was the 5th Olympic championship. Now, the British national ice hockey team pulled off a major upset when they won the gold medal, marking a number of firsts in international ice hockey competition. Great Britain made history as the first team to ever win an Olympic, World, and European, which was its second championship, and the first to win all 3 in the same year. They were the first team to stop Canada from winning the Olympic ice hockey gold following Canada's 4 consecutive golds. But there was some controversy with this. 2 days
Okay.
before the 1936 Winter Olympics in whatever I said perfectly the first time, I'm not going to try again, Germany, Canadian officials protested that 2 players on the British team, James Foster and Alex Archer, had played in Canada but transferred without permission to play for the clubs in the English National League. The IIHF agreed with Canada, but Great Britain threatened to withdraw from the team if the two were barred from competing. So to avoid conflict, Canada withdrew the protest shortly before the games began. The tournament before the games began. The tournament consisted of 4 groups and 15 teams. Great Britain became the first non-Canadian team to win gold. Canada won silver, and then the United States in 36 won the bronze medal. Now, hometown touch feel here. One of the players on the U.S. team, Phil Labatt, was born and raised in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He was an all-around athlete at West High School, competing in baseball, football, and hockey. At the collegiate level, he excelled at hockey at the University of Minnesota, guiding the Gophers to 3 consecutive conference championships from 33 to 35. He was named team captain during the 34-35 season and was the only Gopher to play in all 53 games during 3 seasons while he was playing a 45-8 record. He is often considered to be the first of the great college hockey players to come out of the University of Minnesota. And Mr. Labatt was introduced into the state of Minnesota Olympic Hall of Fame, located in Blaine, Minnesota, on July 7th of 1990.
Huh.
Whew.
Blaine?
Blaine.
I never knew that. Hey, you know another thing about this card that is very interesting to me? So 1936 Winter Olympics in Germany, that's like 2.5 years before the start of World War II.
Yeah, this is that pre-war card era stuff, yeah.
And I wonder what the vibe there was, because there's a lot of you never hear about the Winter Olympics, but you hear a lot about the Summer Olympics, where like Hitler was like really shaky in the stands and people thought he was all drugged up and stuff like that. Now I want to go look and see how involved he was, and this would have been 3.5 years later, and even closer to World War II.
Sure.
With by the time the Winter Olympics were held there.
And I don't remember what it said, so fact check this after everybody watches the show, but the first 10 or 11, 12 years of the Olympic Games, hockey was played in the summer. It wasn't.
I don't think they separated Winter and Summer Olympics.
It wasn't a winter. Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, on to the card. It is a horizontal team picture of the USA hockey team for the good listener, right, Phil?
Absolutely.
It's graded in a PSA 4. There were only 2 of these cards on the PSA Pop report, and this one, as a 4, is the highest grade. The card itself doesn't look to be very big because they don't even have a holder to really fit it. They did
it's a card for ants. Yeah.
For ants.
But little worn edges. All the corners are rounded. I don't know. Is it the whole card? Look at on the right side. It looks like 1 or 2 of the guys might be cut out.
Oh yeah, that's nuts. Is it smaller than a parky?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Looks like a thimble size.
I guess it's some weird slabs, man.
I could not find a lot of information on this card, but other than that, I mean, it's cool. It's part of pre-war history there.
Very cool.
Yeah. Neat.
All right. We're going to move on to Modern. I had the first pick of Modern. I went with the 2017 O-Pee-Chee Platinum Rainbow Color Wheel Wayne Gretzky CSG 10 Gem Mint. I'm such a sucker for these O-Pee-Chee Platinum cards with Wayne in the Campbell Conference All-Star jersey. You got the old school NHL logo, the sloping downward. Just love them. So I actually have this card in a PSA 10. Not too often do I see cards where we feature cards that I actually own. And then from the same year, I have the Seismic Gold parallel as well.
Nice.
So I'm
I was with you when you got that.
Yeah, huge fan of this card overall. Now, rainbow color wheels are OPC Platinum E-Pack cards. I forget. Do you remember what Ben Barry called them? Because I was trying to call them achievements, but they're just like
achievements.
Combiner. No,
he used a different name, and I don't know what it was.
Because you get them by combining. Now I can't. I don't know if it's like
Incentive?
5 or 10.
Well, that's
I
not
thought there was
it.
more of like a verb.
Oh, you sure?
Here we go
Not
with
a
the
noun?
noun and verb thing again. No, not a noun. So again, I can't remember what the term is. I'll have to go back and look it up. But it's either 5 or 10 base cards that you would combine to make the rainbow color wheel. Yeah, consolidate. There you go. And I think why I love this card so much is it combines nostalgia, of course, with the old Wayne All-Star picture there, and then sort of the new modern sort of fancy printing technologies that you get with OPC Platinum. Now, there's only been one sale of the 2017 OPC Platinum Wayne Gretzky Color Wheel CSG 10, and that was this past August when one sold for 132. If you're wondering, like a PSA 10 goes for about 160 now, so you get a nice little $30 on average, I would say, CSG discount. So maybe that might be a reason to buy it. You got a current bid?
$9 US, buddy.
Woo! Cheap.
I wouldn't mind owning another one of these, but yeah. Bill, what
Yes.
modern card did you like?
Modern card I liked was the... Oh, yes, we're doing the Fanatics. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I have the 2020 Upper Deck, The Cup, Class of 21, Timmy Tantrums, Gold Rookie Auto. No, it's a gold foil. I forget what they're called. It's a rookie class. That's actually what the card is. It's hard to see. Sometimes they're black. It's out of 50. I picked this card because if you like Timmy Tantrums, Timmy Stutzel, this might be a good opportunity to pick up a highly touted cup card. And I'll tell you why. It's a PSA 8, so it's not that attractive, even though most people know cup cards are usually 7s, 8s, and 9s. It's rare to hit a 10, but it can happen. He has 3 different autographs out there. This is the middle one, and it's his weakest one, but it's still his autograph. It's also a rookie card, and it's in the cup. So I would think if you're looking to crack the market of a higher end card, this might be it for you at a very reasonable price. Yeah.
Out of 50, reasonably scarce.
Yeah.
He's after a pretty good start, right?
Doing good
this year.
Yep, doing good. Played great last night. Really good.
He keeping his emotions in check, or is he?
He's maturing. We're watching the maturation process of Timmy Stutzel. Yeah.
There you go. You got a current bid, Louis?
28 US.
Oh, crazy.
So for the price of what, 4 Shane Pintos, you could get.
All right.
Zeff.
Let's settle down. He hit the post last night. Good things are happening.
Yeah, Pinto played. That was good.
Yeah, he
last
played.
One, Louis. Last modern card.
Last modern card is a 2015 Upper Deck Connor McDavid Portraits Platinum Blue.
He looks angry.
Yeah, zoom in on that. That's how he's. Are you keening out on this one?
I can't.
He's like, what did you say to me?
Simply pick this card because I think 2015. I'm not a huge portraits guy, but I think 2015s are some of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
And then it's a McDavid out of 25. Love it. Josh, can you quick look up what it sold for? I did not get a chance to do that. I don't even know the different inserts out of the variations on this one. Like Platinum Blue, was there multiples?
I'm curious to see what this would go for. So rookie year, it's kind of average, but it's better than average card. And out of 25 and no auto, what the heck does something like this go for?
Well, okay, we'll do last sale,
Yeah.
and then we'll do all-time high. What do you think the last sale price was? You can go first again, Phil. What do you guess?
Slabbed or raw?
Oh, the PSA 10.
300.
What do you think, Louis?
$950.
Jesus.
1680 US.
What?
Well, it's a McDavid rookie out of 25.
I don't know. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I'm not surprised, even though after I yelled, but
And it is more like of a hockey portrait. Like some of the portraits have gotten pretty abstract lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, this looks more like a traditional hockey card, I guess.
Yeah.
What do you guys think the all-time high is? Phil, you go again.
1680. Is that what you said?
Well, that was the last sale.
Oh,
You
last
think
sale.
that was
All-time
also the
high?
all-time?
Oh God,
It could also be the all-time high.
I don't know, man. I 2000.
I say 21.
Phil, you hit it right on the nail on the head. 2000.
Okay, yeah, too large.
Top 4 at PSA 10.
Top 4.
Top 4.
Yeah.
Philly, the only reason I was shooting for the moon there on the last sales because I do know currently the current bid on this card is $320 US.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this card is an inch, and I like basic. This looks like an O-Pee-Chee cardboard card. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A good option though. Again, if you want to, it's cheaper than the Young Guns, and there's 10,000 total PSA 10s between BGS and.
It doesn't feel
and PSA.
McDavid-y though. It's like you don't see the Oilers, you don't see,
He looks like his wires got crossed, and his brain stopped for a minute.
He looks angry. Why are you angry, Connor?
Oh, Connor.
Well, to bid on these 6 cards or any of the other awesome hockey cards in this week's Fanatics Collect Weekly Auction, head to fanaticscollect.com. All right, personal pickups. Special one. It's personal pickups, Expo edition. So we're going to run through just a few of our Expo pickups real quick before we're done with the show today. And we're going to start with Phil because I'm going to have to muster up the courage for him to hate my cards. So, all right, Phil.
I already know what card. We were at the Expo together. I know the card you have.
We were.
Anyways, I for the record, good listener, I didn't want to show any of my cards. I didn't want to dig through my boxes. I have over 500. They bullied me into this. I have over 500 ComC cards. I have not looked at. I've only looked at 3 of them. Anyways,
you know how you're like Timmy Tantrums. You're maturing. You went right to ComC. You didn't go COMC. You haven't called Panther this show. You're doing really good, Phil. I'm proud of you.
It takes me a while. Takes me a while. Yeah, the Panther evolution was funny. Eh? Panther, Pather.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Okay,
met the
Phil,
owner this week. Yeah, we had Neville Pather, great guy. We met him. It was fantastic.
Mhm.
Okay, let's go. Phil's pickups. You guys
ready for the card?
I'm ready for the card.
All right, we'll start with this one first. I switched it around on you a little bit.
Oh, I really didn't want you to. Thanks. So this was well, I had a whole.
Okay, hold on. Oh, look at nobody saw anything. Ready, go. Fire in the hole.
I don't think you wanted you to start with that one either.
Yeah, Louis, when I
don't
emailed
have
you,
anymore.
Oh boy. All right. So what you're looking at is a Future Watch Wayne Gretzky. That's the biggest card I've ever bought in my life. I bought it for I don't want to say. If you're good friends with me, you know what I bought it for. You could DM me and I'll tell you. But I got an excellent deal. I was looking at a Sidney Crosby 2020 exquisite patch. No, I apologize. It was 2009, 2010 Sidney Crosby, and the patches are kind of weak. And it was just a napkin patch, and the guy had it for $4,000 a PSA 9. I offered him $2,500, and he said no. So I said that offer is good. It kind of surprised me, to be honest. I said that offer is good for the whole weekend unless I tell you otherwise if I buy another card. So as I was walking around the floor, immediately after that happened, I bumped into a good friend of mine, Rob from Ottawa, and I told him about that. And he said, why would you do that when you could go out there and buy a Gretzky Future Watch for like, $6-7 grand? And that's a card that's much more liquid than the Crosby. I don't know about much more liquid, but it wasn't necessarily talking with the Gretzky that wanted me to think. I just thought maybe there's a better deal out there. Don't jump on something so quick. In the next 10 minutes, I walked by Grant's table and I saw this. I saw this card and Rob didn't see it. There was another Gretzky PSA 9 that was for $9,000 and a raw for $7,500. Well, Grant didn't have those prices on this bad boy. So I don't know, man. It was a sign. I've always wanted this card. Top 3 cards I've always wanted. I knew I'd have to get this card because if I got this card, then I could finish the set. I could not buy the Phil Esposito that you're going to show next and not have this Wayne. I wanted to buy I want to beat the final boss first, then beat his minions. So the Phil Esposito here, good listener, is out of 99. I think it's pretty cool because it's 66 out of 99. So it's cool for a variety of reasons. and the autograph is excellent. It's a picture of Phil you don't see too very often. He looks a little penguin-y, but that's okay because HBO Penguin is a great show. And now I have 2 cards out of 100 to finish the all-time Future Watch collection.
You
And
only
those
have
are-
2. Usually within about 7 minutes of deciding you're going to do a set, you have half of it. So,
Well, I'm lying. I have over 20 now, but I'm only going to say I have 2. Yeah, I got over 20. Top loader binder gang.
You're super efficient at spending money on cards. I just want to say, like, you go really fast.
I don't spend much money on anything else. Nothing.
Yeah.
Like the brand new truck I bought it's 2-toned on the doors, and the guy even said, "I can't believe you're buying this truck. I haven't been able to sell it for." Yeah, I'm your guy.
There you go. Now the Gretzky, you haven't even looked at that one. I think I would stare at that one all day.
Well, I had to look at it today because you guys made me do my pickups. Yeah,
Is the condition good?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's
Nice.
phenomenal. It's excellent.
Nice.
I'd probably get a PSA 7 if I sent it in, but I'm not sending it in. So,
Sure.
yeah.
All right. Well, good pickups, Phil.
Thanks, man.
Baba Louie. Now
My
you had an
first-
awesome show as far as pickups go.
I did, and I really had to just pick out a few. It was kind of hard to pick out a few, not to go on for an hour. But first one, 1920, Mike Modano patch auto stature out of 9. I can't believe this card was still there or was available. I looked at it in April, and because I ran out of money, I couldn't buy it. I bought too many other Modanos and what
Okay.
have you. But Phil knew who the guy was that had it and asked him, and he said, well, as a matter of fact, I still do. Blew me away. So, first order of business, as soon as I got a chance, was to fly over there and grab this. So, beauty, nice patch, nice card. Second
Can I tell you a Mike Modano story real quick?
Okay.
So I got a message this morning from a guy on my card post who had just posted a bunch of Mike Modano cards. And he said tons of people were messaging him to reach out to you.
Oh, really?
This whole Baba Louie Mike Modano thing is kind of taking a life of its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It kind of has.
It needs its own podcast.
Funny guy. All right.
Okay, now you can move on.
Second one of my pickups is the 1718 SP Authentic Future Watch auto of my new favorite, Nico Hischier. Playing great. Love the card. The only Future Watch auto I own.
Really? Wow.
First one. Yeah.
I have a comment about this for Phil. So, yeah, Louise created this new Nico Hischier PC.
Yeah, I know. It's funny.
And so I asked him, well, the other day, I'm like, well, why Nico Hischier? And his response is, well, what did he say, Louis?
Refresh my memory. I don't know.
You said you have no idea.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. I don't. No idea. You know, I've been a Devils fan for a long time. But
He's your guy. He just clicks with you. Yeah.
Just your guy, I guess.
Just my guy. So,
Well, you're more of a Scott Gomez kind of guy, but well, we'll take Nico
No.
Hischier.
So, funny story for the next one. I gotta set this up a little bit quick. I bought a Nico Hischier Young Guns, and that was a challenge in itself to find at the show. I finally went out on my own for a little bit and just hit as many people as I could, asking people, nope, looking, can't find nothing. Found one guy, got it. So, Friends Night at the Chateau, Sylvan was looking through showing Sylvan my cards, and I'm like, hey, finally picked up a Hischier Young Guns too. And he's like, really? Well, I have an acetate Nico Hischier Young Guns, and Phil and I kind of both looked at each other like, you got a what?
I'm sorry. You have what?
Needless to say, pickup number 3 here is I
Ooh,
ended up
nice.
picking up the Nico acetate.
Sweet.
Love it.
Pretty
Hey, you did good.
crazy.
You came back with a fat stack of cards. That's for sure.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I did.
I had one pickup and then kind of a pickup. I basically blew my entire budget on one card right away. I was happy to do it. I got a deal. I got to do the deal with a good listener, Phil, as you like to call it. So I picked up this 2020 Upper Deck, Kirill Kaprizov, Young Guns Acetate. So both Baba Louie and I got a Young Guns Acetate. It was a cash deal, and that allowed said good listener to go buy another card he wanted. So I kind of felt really good about that. But my shopping ended pretty quick. Never would have thought I would own this card, so very happy. I got it right here. It's always by my side.
Nice.
And there we go. Hi, say hi.
Hi.
So yeah, was really stoked to get the. I probably will never grade it because these don't typically grade real well. And I don't know what did you say, Phil? There's 20 or 30 of these or something like that.
I believe there's other than the first year. I believe there's 25 of them. I know that. Okay. I know there's. I got one today. I got a Brady Tkachuk acetate, so that's 12. I own more than. Yeah, I got 12 now. But anyways, I know where there's 22 Brady Tkachuk acetates. I mean, I doubt the print runs 22, so I'm assuming it's 25.
Like
it's
25,
over 20. It's over 20. So no, there's only 10 of these. No, there's much more than 10 unless it's the first year.
And then my other pickup is not a new card. It's an auto on a card that another show follower gave me at the Expo a couple years ago. So IFC, Irish Flyers Collector, also known as Neil, also known as Expo Mom. Neil did me a huge solid and got my 1981 Topps Peter Stastny rookie autograph by Peter at the show while I think I was on stage with someone at the time. So thank you to Neil. I greatly appreciate you doing that for me. And when I saw Peter was coming, I hatched this plan to get the card signed. Went straight away to Target, bought a multicolored Sharpie pack, and then Neil's the king of. There's nobody I trust more when it comes to getting cards autoed and markers, and he helped me pick out this kind of like pinky purpley one that matches Peter's name on the card and looks really nice on the card too. So very, very happy to get it's the only I think in-person auto I have in my collection.
Cool,
looks good. Little
it's special because it says what Hall of Fame 1998. So. And Neil got it for me, so I'll always remember that.
Can we talk about how amazing your Kaprizov acetate looked in person? That picture does not do any justice. Acetate cards, a lot of people don't know the difference between clear cut and acetate. There is a monumental difference. If you look at both of the cards naked, they're not even close. Clear cut, you're like, what is this, peanuts? Get out of here, Mickey Mouse. This is a real deal. The technology.
How does it change the card when you're looking at it while you're naked?
I like collecting my cards naked. Yeah.
Okay.
It's good. It's healthy.
I'm just curious. You said there's no comparison if you're naked. So
well, between me and you guys, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to let others judge.
All
right, boys, we did it. If you like the episode, please leave a rating, review on Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast app you listen to us on. If you love the show, you want to support us, you want to chat with us every day on the Hockey Cards Gongshow Discord server, please consider a $5 a month donation. Join our $1.99 support level tier on Patreon. Link is in the show description and our Instagram, TikTok profile. Or you can go to our website, Hockey Cards Gongshow, and click on the Become a Patron link, or just go to the Patreon website, patreon.com. You can follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And boys, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast is a production of Dogbox Ventures, LLC. Have an awesome weekend. We can't wait to be back with another show this coming Monday. And Baba Louie, take us out.
Bye.